Capitol Hill takes another turn with a possible two-bill solution emerging. Fox's Jared Halpern has more live.
A bipartisan group of lawmakers are splitting a previous coronavirus compromise in hopes of ending a months-long stalemate on additional economic relief. One part would total about $750 billion. It would replenish small business assistance and fund vaccine distribution. A $160 billion plan would provide emergency funding for state and local governments, a key provision for Democrats, and also set up a liability shield for businesses and schools against coronavirus-related lawsuits, a key provision for Republicans. Congressional leaders want to attach COVID relief to a government funding bill needed to prevent a shutdown before Friday night. Lisa.
Thanks, Jared. Well, state by state, the Electoral College results are taking shape, even as President Trump's claims of election fraud continue in court. The Wisconsin Supreme Court rejecting a lawsuit today. America is listening to Fox News.
Day. I'm Chelsea Nicholas, and I'm the co-chair for this year's G is for Giving, as well as a proud alumna of the University of Guam. G is for Giving is an annual campaign that kicks off on the Tuesday following Thanksgiving and runs through the end of the year. Known as Giving Tuesday, it is an international day of giving, and this year's theme is Weaving Community. On Guam, we know a little something about weaving community, as we're all intertwined and interconnected in the spirit of Enough Malik. When one of us thrives, the island thrives. This is why I support G is for Giving's mission to support scholarships, programs, and research. As an alumna, I know how difficult it is to balance going to school and worrying about how you're going to pay for school. In these uncertain times, students are even more at risk because of economic hardship beyond their control. G is for Giving aims to bridge that gap and take away at least some of the burden. For more information on how you can give, visit give.uog.edu or call the UOG Endowment Foundation at 735-2957. Have a happy and safe holiday.
The U.S. officially points a finger at Iran over the disappearance of a former FBI agent.
For the first time, the Trump administration is formally blaming Iran for the presumed death of retired FBI agent Robert Levinson, who disappeared in Iran under mysterious circumstances more than a decade ago. The State Department publicly identified two high-ranking Iranian intelligence officers believed responsible for Levinson's abduction. U.S. officials also said the Iranian government sanctioned the abduction and lied for years about its involvement. Earlier this year, a federal judge in Washington held Iran liable for Levinson's disappearance. At the White House, John Decker, Fox News.
Iran has long denied having any information about Levinson. California's Attorney General says time's up for Amazon. He's asking a court to force the company to comply with outstanding subpoenas as part of a probe into Amazon's COVID-19 protocols and the status of corona cases at the company's facilities. A lot of people may have had trouble Googling or emailing earlier today.
Google services were hit this morning by what the company says was a global outage affecting YouTube, Gmail, Google Maps, and other services used for virtual classrooms across the country. With Down Detector's data showing Google outages in the U.S., Europe, India, Japan, and Australia, as well as others.
Fox's Jeff Manasso, the search giant, later saying all services were restored and blaming an internal storage quota issue in its authentication system used to log people into accounts. The company says the issue is under review to make sure it can't happen again. An hour to the close on Wall Street, stocks are mixed. The Dow's down about 37 points, but the NASDAQ is still rallying and has been in record territory. I'm Lisa Brady, and this is Fox News.
This Christmas, window shopping and gift purchases might be done more online than ever before. Don't let scammers ruin the spirit of the season. Keep your information safe with these tips. When shopping online, use a secure and trusted network. When checking out, look for the lock icon in your browser bar and ensure the site you're on is valid by confirming the URL. Lastly, keep track of your spending by checking your bank statements often. For more online safety tips, visit the Fraud Information Center at bankofguam.com. Bank of Guam, the People's Bank. Member FDIC.
Oh, what's for breakfast at KFC under $3.95, you ask? What's for breakfast at KFC that's different than the other guys, you ask? KFC's chicken wrap, sausage wrap, the Colonel's chicken congee, chicken fried steak, sausage biscuit and gravy, and biscuit sandwiches made with KFC's original fluffy biscuits. All for under $3.95 and all only at KFC. Plus, with waffles and the Colonel's chicken fried rice, we've got something for everyone.
So visit KFC for breakfast today. It's finger-licking good.
Everyone has a busy schedule these days, and sometimes we forget to schedule our routine dental checkup and cleaning. Don't neglect your dental health. Schedule one today with Dr. Robert Yang and his Smile team, conveniently located at the East West Business Center on Marine Drive, Upper Tumon. Call us today at 647-8702 or 3. Again, that's 647-8702 or 647-8703. We make smiles happen.
Half a day. It's 6:06. I'm Monisova Tyron with a look at your local news on the point. It was a slight change to pandemic restrictions, but an easing nonetheless. The governor yesterday, in an executive order, had made a few modifications to her restrictions that she has in place in her response to the pandemic, allowing people now to have 10 people at a social gathering and increasing capacity for some businesses and establishments to churches to 50%. The changes in response to the island seeing a low CAR score for a 2-week period, the latest being 1.3. And while people had been looking forward to a bit more by way of easing of the restrictions, your governor says that she's not willing to risk the community's success by celebrating too early. The executive order will go into effect at 8 this morning. Now, the order allows for now 10 people to dine together at a restaurant, but still requires outdoor dining. Bars still forced to stay closed, and there was also no mention on schools and if or when they will be allowed to be reopened. Public Health issued their guidance to advise the public of the restrictions and allowances for businesses and government operations in accordance with the executive order. The guidance related to social gatherings, exercising in groups, and the use of public parks. Of course, those limiting group activities to 10. It also addresses business occupancy, non-contact sports like golfing, and religious activities. Well, the government is looking at the end of the week for the first of the shipments of vaccines to arrive. Public Health placed its first order of the Pfizer vaccine on December 4th for 3,900 doses. It's been given authorization to place its next order in the next 24 to 48 hours for a minimum of 3,900 doses. This number is subject to change. Additionally, Public Health has placed its first order for Moderna vaccines, or Vaccine B, on Saturday for a total of 3,800 doses for that version of the vaccine. The Moderna vaccine must still undergo the same review and approval process as Pfizer's vaccine before distribution begins in the states and territories. Meanwhile, Guam saw its 119th COVID-related fatality this week. A 44-year-old man who had underlying health conditions died at home earlier this week. 31 new cases of COVID-19 were also reported out of 1,165 tests performed. One case was identified through contact tracing, while 2 others reported recent travel and were identified in quarantine. Now, as of yesterday, there have been 7,137 officially reported cases of COVID-19 on Guam. We'll have more news right after this.
As we usher in the holiday season, we want to express our gratitude and appreciation for the lessons that have allowed us to navigate an unprecedented year. We recognize the impact the pandemic has brought to the world and express our condolences to those who have suffered. We are focused on family and what matters most as a community. Our team at Security Title is proud of the work we do. May this holiday season bring your family renewed hope. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from Security Title.
A Guam Fire Department firefighter assigned to the Inarajan Fire Station tested positive for COVID-19. The firefighter remains in isolation at home. Emergency operations continue with adjustments made in scheduling for the firefighters assigned. A thorough decontamination of all rooms and common areas was performed at that Inarajan fire station. Meanwhile, the Guam Airport Authority also confirmed another couple of employees tested positive there. The Guam Department of Labor could have PUA claims filed through December 9th paid out before Christmas, and this while they'll be paying out about $32 million this week in PUAs and LWAs. Meanwhile, your senators are pushing forward a bill that would give a single payment of $800 for eligible individuals on Guam and up to $1,600 for joint filers. According to the Guam Daily Post today, The bill excludes individuals employed by the government of Guam or federal government in tax year 2020. Any individual who retired from GovGuam or federal government and was employed by these entities in tax year 2020, any non-resident alien, any deceased individual, any state or trust. However, for joint filers, if at least one individual was a government employee in tax year 2020, the program can still apply to the individual who was not employed by the government. Eligibility is limited to individuals making less than $40,000 in adjusted income per year or less than $80,000 in the case of the joint filers. That bill will be voted on before session ends this week. And those are your headlines right here on The Point. Here's Ray with your weather.
Says here, Montecillo, Tyron, partly cloudy with isolated showers this morning. Partly sunny with scattered showers in the afternoon. East winds up to 20 miles an hour. Daytime highs today should be about 86 degrees. For tonight, partly cloudy, isolated showers some more. East winds 10 to 20 miles an hour. Overnight lows about 77 degrees. For tomorrow, which will be Wednesday, which will be my trash day. Partly cloudy, isolated showers. East winds 15 to 20 miles an hour. And daytime highs should be about 87 degrees. Heat index is going to be 90 degrees, and somewhere between a 20 to 30% chance of showers. You want to just use those generic numbers from now on? Feels about right.
It's 20, actually.
Is it 20 today? 20% chance of showers here. Watch out for that. Sunrise this morning. Sunrise is still a ways off. 6:35 in the morning for the sun to break the plains. Sunset tonight is going to be at 5:56 as we make our way to the winter solstice. And do you remember what day that is?
Yes.
When?
No. Pretty soon.
Okay. Weirdo. Okay. Tell you what, that's news and weather together brought to you by Bank Pacific, banking on the Pacific for 66 years.
At FHP Health Center, your health and safety are important to us. FHP remains open during peak or 1 to serve all of your healthcare and medical needs. To better serve you, we encourage you to keep your appointment with your healthcare provider. We have implemented stringent screening and sanitizing procedures to keep you safe. FHP Health Center is open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday, closed on Sunday. For appointments, call 646-5825 and press 2. FHP, our island, your clinic.
Are you fed up with those long bank lines? Do you wish you had a bank who gave you faster service? Well, by enrolling in Bank Pacific's new mobile app, you don't even need to wait in line. But even if you do want to come down in person, we're more than happy to see your smiling face, as long as you have a mask. Because our service is so good, we don't believe in lines. Because for 66 years, we've been making sure you get the service you deserve. Because where others put branches, we place roots. And we're rooting for you. Member FDIC.
Portions of the program brought to you by KFC. Don't say things like that before I have to open the microphone, because now it's in my head.
Say it, Troy said it.
You got to. There's a conversation of why 2020 sucks, and apparently there's a couple of additions to this now. Is it Gigi Vanderpump?
Yes, the dog. I sent you a picture.
Well, yeah. Should I be really concerned about this? I mean, is this one of those? Is it part of the Kardashian enterprise? Is there really some? Will there be a full scale? Will they stop distributing the vaccine in honor of this Gigi Vanderpump thing?
They might increase the capacity now.
And a big sweaty what is what, Troy? Never mind. Anyway, portions of the program brought to you by our friends over at KFC. We got breakfast waiting for you. AM waffle and sausage. You got the regular waffles, and then we put that special KFC maple syrup. It just drizzling maple syrup. You get the image in your head? If not, I have a picture of it. It's with the drizzle. You got that right there with the waffles and the sausage on the side. We got the AM chicken fried steak and plenty more. There is a breakfast with your name on it this morning at KFC. Ray Gibson Show also brought to you by APL, American President Lines. Global presence with a local home.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Just open your microphone. It's okay. You can reel Joe. It's all right. What were you saying? It's a brand new day.
I said it's a brand new day.
See, you need that motivation every once in a while. I'll do my best to provide it. But I mean, if you've already got, if you've already got the nickel in you, as in who put the nickel in you, if you've already got that, then by all means just chime in and go. I don't have to be the first voice on the radio in the morning.
Oh, man.
It's cool. It's cool. It's Real Joe Cruz.
Good morning.
Gets the phone when you call it 888-8255, 888-TALK is the telephone number. Of course, we got the WhatsApp deal going here this morning. And unfortunately, there's a WhatsApp I want to play, and I can't because there's a couple of four-letter words in it. I hate it when that happens. And it's an image. I think I got it from Rico. It's an old lady getting a vaccine.
Oh.
And she's doing okay, and she's feeling kind of groovy, and there's everybody claps because, oh, look, old person got the vaccine. And then all of a sudden she jumps out of the chair and she starts doing this exorcist bit where she's crawling up the walls and then the ceiling and, backwards, this spidery thing. And it's really, and fortunately some of the people that were there had shotguns with them for just such an occurrence.
I want to see that.
I'll send it to you. Well, you know, I can play the video. We just can't play the audio. Will you be all right with that?
Okay.
Everybody, is that okay?
I've got a vivid imagination.
Yeah. Well,
Am I everybody? Okay, go ahead.
Well, I'm just going to play it. So everybody that's watching on Facebook and YouTube Live, you'll be able to see this. Those of you that are listening on the radio, this is going to be a completely empty experience for you. You're just going to go, well, I can imagine it based on what Ray said. Little old lady with hair of gold. And there she is. She's jumping up and down.
No.
Here comes the guy with the shotgun. Bang, bang, Mateo. Bang, bang. And it's all over. Is that what's going to happen? 6:16 in the morning. There's about 44%. We were doing a thing yesterday. I was talking about the point.gu, and we've got our own statistics on whether or not people are going to be taking the vaccine when it becomes available for them. 47.5% now say that they will take the vaccine when it becomes available in whichever group it's going to be in. Obviously, by the time it gets here, where's that piano music? We need to. I want to do this for the government. No, I need to find something else. Here's what I'm looking for. We know, I can tell you right now, there will, by the time it gets to be Saturday-ish, maybe Saturday afternoon, there will be, from the JIC and Crystal Paco, there's going to be a video that will be circulated in the social media.
Dramatic music.
Dramatic music,
okay.
And there'll be a plane maybe landing, maybe taxiing, coming out, and then out from the cargo section of the plane, they'll be unloading all these vials and boxes of the vaccine there. And the governor's going to be there, and it doesn't matter if the plane comes in at 3 o'clock in the morning. They will be there to meet I'll bet you Lou and Josh will actually handle some of the boxes, to more quickly move them off the plane and into the distribution list. And
that script's been written already.
It's already in my head. We just got to find the music. We just got to find the music. It's that interesting kind of pensive tempo in the beginning.
The piano,
and then it turns into something. It's just inspiring to make you want to get that vaccine.
Acoustic guitar, maybe? No.
Timpani.
Yeah.
Little Black Backpack by Stroke 9.
Oh, there's a great song.
Right? Appropriate.
There you go.
What's that guy? So-and-so's mama's got it going on. That's also a good song. For taking
Stacy's mom.
Stacy's mom has got it going on. Oh, yeah. Jared's got a girlfriend. 6:18 in the morning. Welcome to the program. My name is Ray Gibson. As I said, Real Joe gets the phone when you call it 888-82. I'm talking too fast again. I got to take a breath. It's like I'm overcompensating for something. I don't know. It's like Tuesday. 888-8255. The meme machine is online this morning at 988-5874. Again, 988-5874. And then Mike's side with Montecillo Tyron as we continue our celebration for Big Sister Shelley's birthday.
It's her birthday in the States?
It is her birthday in the States. So, Jay Rojas, you've got to come again, get online and wish Shelley a happy birthday. Nice little get-together we had at the house last night.
I wasn't invited.
Whoa. Under 10 people?
What? Oh, yeah. No.
You guys got together?
Yeah.
What?
Stop that.
Oh, man.
Well, so it was a little muted. I mean, obviously, for the occasion of, I'm going to say it, her 60th birthday, on that, I mean, look, any time you get a birthday with a 0 at the end of it, that's like milestone, right?
Yeah.
So, 60 years old, we should have been able to have it at like one of those fancy places at Tsubaki Towers, the Chibaka Towers.
A big celebration.
Bahaki Towers, I forget what it is. friends. Be like all the family, all of her gay friends, and all of it. It would be like it would be like a lights recreated moment with her sitting at the bar with a lineup of kamikazes, just like
12,
the old days.
12, that's her first.
That's first 12. Give me it. I need that. But we weren't able to do that. So it was still great. We said Artie got some Jamaican plates, some Jamaican grill plates, which was the platters, and then it came time. Mana brings out a birthday cake, and this was the weirdest thing in the world to me. Here comes the birthday cake, and they put it in front of Shelly, and she gets all right, super emotional, and then it's time to blow out the candle. But apparently, I don't know, and I haven't been to any birthday things recently. I mean, where there was a cake and everything, but apparently we don't blow candles out on cakes anymore.
Oh, no, you wave it with a paper plate.
Oh. You got to pick up a little styrofoam paper plate and you wave the flame out. Yeah. This is the terrorists have won.
Do the wish people know that?
The pencil necks have won. The academiacs have won, ladies and gentlemen. We're no longer allowed to blow on the
candle.
And
I wouldn't let her.
Ah. She was quick.
Mana is the adult supervision for family get-togethers, and she sat at the table with a mask on virtually the entire time.
And I made my daughter wear a mask.
Oh my God!
You guys have cootie.
It's 6:20 with the cootie prevention going on here. But eventually we'll get our hands on the vaccine. We'll talk about that. So the theme for today's program, and I got this from who's this? Arnold Albert says we exceeded the goal by 70%, and this is all we get. This is all we get. Oh! You know this is where I got to get headed this morning, right? You know this is where this is going to be the conversation. And you're probably sitting there going, I'll bet Gibson's pissed. I'll bet he's just found a piece of rebar and bit all the way through it. Because there we were talking about 2 weeks, but COVID, the car score, 5 Cabreras or lower, and we nailed it, man. This town nailed the assignment. I don't know how, whatever. Who knows what those numbers mean? I don't. I mean, no, the thing is, I do know what those numbers mean, and it's still irrelevant, and nobody else on the planet is using those numbers. But anyway, if that's what makes them feel better, if that's what, gets their orbit going, then all right, we'll do that. And so 1.6, I think, was where we were. I think we're 1.3.
Yes,
today is 1.3. And so everybody does whatever everybody did to get the car score to where it was, and I think there were a lot of people with bigger expectations. And I'll tell you right now, if you've been listening in the last couple of weeks, you know I'm not one of them.
Keep them low.
No. I managed my expectations. Yes. I knew it was going to be bull. I knew that it was going to be, it was going to be very conservative. I knew that I knew that people were going to be disappointed with it, and so I kept my expectations low. And so when it was all done, after I listened to the crappy audio on their Facebook feed, after that was all done, I thought, you know what? I'm okay with this. I'm all right with this. Do I miss the indoor dining? Yeah, I wanted to get indoor dining. You know why? Because they got bars inside.
Yeah.
That's it's not, it'd be cool to sit down and eat dinner. But I'd like to hang out over at the thing and, yak with my friends all night. But anyway, so we didn't get the indoor dining. We can now have, up to 10 people? At the outdoor.
Yes.
So here's what we're going to get. This is the people that are running the restaurants now that have already made a significant investment in all of their new outdoor furniture infrastructure.
Yeah.
You have to go get bigger tables now.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You have to go get bigger.
Well, they have the big circular ones that can seat 10. They even have the,
do they?
Yeah.
Where at?
Q's Rental has it.
We got to buy them now.
Oh, you're going to buy it?
Well,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, look.
Might as well.
Might as well. So we got Mescala. They just opened up their little Mescala camp there at the thing, and now people are going to say.
I think, does East West Rental have them too? I think they do.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they do. Well, here's the thing: is you go to Benson, you go to Guam Hardwood, whatever, you get yourself some wood, and you build yourself big tables for 10.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen now, because it fills up fast. I was talking about going to the Hilton a couple of weeks ago, right? A couple of Fridays ago, and the guy says, "Well, we can only take 5 at the table." I'm like, "There's 6 of us."
Yeah.
And he kind of looks at me like, "I don't know what to do." Walk away.
He's called the manager.
The manager. No, that was the manager.
That was the manager.
I'll be right back. And he just goes in the freezer and then yells something really loud, arg, 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 and comes back down and says, well, let me take you to your table. Okay, and so we got to the table, and sure enough, there were only 5 chairs there, but there was an extra chair at the table next door. Therefore, did I already say the Hilton when I said?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, they're gonna love me.
So somebody made new friends?
We all made new friends. I have pictures of them. There was a table of I want to say about 4 middle-aged Filipino ladies.
Oh, traveling nurses.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
And they were taking.
Single?
I don't know. They were taking pictures of themselves. So I took a picture of them.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know how to get it to them. I didn't actually get any names. It's still on my phone. It's pictures, me taking random pictures of 4
Speaking of pictures, I
middle-aged
sent you
Filipinas.
pictures of a birthday party that took place this weekend.
Do we have one?
Yeah, I sent it to your.
In the thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
apparently it was the guards' birthday party, and they had their holiday feeding.
Happy birthday to the guard.
Yeah.
Okay,
and so that was indoor. They were doing a walkthrough, grab and go kind of feeding.
Who's that lady in the middle?
That's Lou.
Oh, the governor.
Yeah.
Why is she wearing a mask? No, she already had COVID.
Oh,
But-
yeah,
but
yeah.
don't-
She's not going to get it again.
We don't
and she
know
can't
that.
give it to anybody.
But scroll through because
Okay.
you see the pictures, and as you're seeing the pictures, there's more than 10 people in there.
Hey. But it's COVID-19 in a federal facility.
anyway.
I don't think you can get COVID-19 there. Oh, look at the big knife. Auntie Lou with the
More
big
than
knife.
at the time, there was 5 people was the limit. So I think there's more than 5 people,
Mm.
more than 10 definitely.
And then here's the dog. This is the dog
Oh,
that
yeah.
everybody's whining about now because it's dead.
Rest in peace, puppy.
What do we do with this one? Do we take it up to
puppy.
Dennis Larson's
Yes,
place?
sir.
Is there? Or let's get it stuffed.
No, I don't know about that.
You never, it's the thing is Ray Gibson and I when I was very young, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life.
He sounds like he's scoffing at this, but this guy is the most sentimental. In fact, he has his dog Mocha in an urn in his house.
In the house.
So he's.
Oh, yeah. Well, I
kidding.
just weep out loud when I think about the dogs that I've had in my life. 6:27 in the morning, and got to do shouts to all of these people here that have been waiting for me patiently to announce this morning's top 10-ish. We got Nick Perlowski and Janice Wong, got the first 2 names up on my list. Nate Horn and Marie Sablon Trousseau, and good morning to Ismail Velez. Jay Nauta is there, post-canteen this morning. And let me see, I got Dennis Larson, as I said, who can take care of those dogs. J.B. St. Nicholas is online saying, good morning, what are we up to 9 days between now and Christmas morning? Sabine Chargaloff, Bennett Lujan Duenas round out the top 10. I see Pam Duvall is there, Rick Mendiola, Anthony Chaco, Cheryl Ochai, and James Lester Lanzo. James Lester Lanzo online, which means that Gallagher not too far behind. Scott Nelson and Eunice Mendiola and Josie Cruz. I got Joy and Pinko and Jay Rojas watching the program.
Happy birthday,
Shelley.
George Martinez, Bob and Connie Bartonico, Bill Marino, Jerome McDonald, Gerald Young, and MP Ogo are hanging out. Lynn McAfee's got a new profile picture. I think Bert Duarte took of her.
Oh, photographer
It's
stuff.
interesting. I don't know. I can't really see it really good on the screen, but is that lingerie? Anyway, Matt Galendez, good morning to Ponch San Jose Nuke. Kenneth Polino, Colin Clark is there. Christian Dixon also online. Madman Dennis Benzer's there. Mercy Wenzel and Cousin Troy. We say good morning, buenos and holiday to Cousin Troy. What was he doing yesterday? He was watching. He was keeping track of the legislature.
Yeah, he said the circus was back in town.
Track that magic moment when we went from the give everybody a $400 check that we can't afford moment. Now it's $800.
Now they can buy more recyclable bags.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
That is the idea. Oh my God. Oh, the pandering, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Now they finally figured out a way to pander to non-Gov Guam employees. Watch as everybody just gloms onto this. And
Well, somebody's going to end up suing because of the discrimination. in that
where's
entire
the
effort.
well? Where's the money coming from? I'm still fuzzy on where the dough is going to be coming from for this. We talked with Mel Mendiola from over at Gita yesterday, and they've got that small business assistance program.
Mm-hmm.
And the way the numbers, there are 1,038 businesses business licenses that have applied for this rent relief. They've so far granted something on the order of about 365 businesses. They've approved now their rent relief programs to the tune of $2.4 million, leaving $600,000 for the other 700 businesses. And that money is going to run out. And so I told Mel, I said, Mel, why don't you go and ask the governor, instead of wasting money on the quarantine programs and leaving returning residents to linger for 6 days at $200+ a day at the Ducet hotels and the Ducet Resort, why don't we take that money and give that to these small businesses? Oh, and can I ask a question? Maybe it will be an unpopular question to ask, but everybody kind of got excited for about 20 minutes, a month and a half ago. You remember when they said they were going to do a voucher thing? They were going to send out like vouchers and gift cards to everybody so we could, quote, support local businesses.
What happened?
I don't know what happened to that. I kept waiting.
The election happened.
The election.
Yeah,
we did the election.
I mean, they got back in, and so
we don't need to worry about any of that stuff anymore. I see my buddy Potluck Bradford's there. Carmen McHale, Beth Marzon, Brian Strickner. Good morning to Manny and Ning Rages, Velma Salas, Vince Borja. This guy's going to be a senator one of these days, and he's listening to every criticism that I have and every observation that I have, and he's going to go, you know what, that Gibson guy is right. I'm going to run for senator because he won't, and then I'm going to take all of these ideas that Ray has and implement and make Guam again. I got Bert Manansala is there, Simon Sanchez, Bursum, and Andrew Rose. Good morning to Romeo Miranda. What did we say was supposed to be Romeo's T-shirt yesterday? Do you remember the T-shirt idea for Romeo?
Oh, no.
Mana, anything?
Was it I survived the 35th or?
That's it. That's right. Yes, I survived the 35th Guam legislature.
Hashtag?
We might could hashtag dumbest bunch ever.
Oh, yeah.
And they're getting ready to prove it to everybody. Big Sister Shelly's online. My bro Peter Gill is there. Rose Pacini, good morning to you. Right click. Pete Hayes and John Paul St. Nicholas are in the program this morning. Claire Camacho, LG. I got Donna Barcinas, Alfred Wayne Cabo, Bob Kelly's brother, Mark Kelly. Bill Fritton is there. I got Alicia Leon Guerrero, Gary Myers, Marianne Tyron St. Nicholas, the original Marianne Tyron. Marie, Remy Delgado Comacho, Virgie Aquino Campo, Joanne Billiby are watching the program. I'm just curious, Joanne, do I say your name different every day? It's possible. It's fun.
It is.
It's Joe, Joanne, Joanna. Thomas Meyerhofer is watching the program. Chris Costine is there. Jess Mendiola. Marianne Rosansky. There's my favorite teacher, Ronnie Dionaldo, is online. Gorgeous picture that you put up on Instagram this morning. Got the smiley faces all ready for you. Valerie Untalan, Therese Flores, Edita De Leon Guerrero, M.T. Farron. Look at this crowd here. It's a bunch of happy people. Hank Bora, Jovi Batista, right click. Valerie Tenodra, Michelle Charland, Carlene Harker watching from the States. Mar John Concepcion. Mark Cruz is watching the program. I have a question. Where do we buy fire trucks here? Who's the seller of fire trucks on Guam?
Oh.
Is it? Mid-pack? More?
Might be mid-pack. I think we do ambulances, too.
I don't know the variety of people that handle that kind of. Here's the. I don't know if anybody caught it, right? But there was a flurry of paperwork that went out, and as usual, you get the governor's thing with the whereases and the what fors and all of that, and so we get down to what is it, page 5 or 6 of the whereases. Whereas the Guam Fire Department is experiencing challenges in ensuring that equipment is available to facilitate its effective and efficient response to emergencies, and it is necessary to authorize the procurement of equipment on an emergency basis to safeguard against a lapse in its critical services. We're not paying attention to procurement rules while we're doing this emergency stuff, are we? And then it goes on towards the end of it. Emergency procurement for structural firefighting pumpers. It is going to be interesting to watch the maneuvering to fit all of this so that it applies, I believe, to CARES Act spending. I think that's what one of the things that they're going to do. This could be one of those things where we got to say, oh, we need a COVID-19. We got to get these pumpers, these structural firefighting pumpers in there. So pursuant to Section 5215, Chapter 5 and Title 5 of the GCA, I declare and certify the existence of an emergency relative to the need for structural firefighting pumpers for use by the Guam Fire Department in ensuring our island's public safety. Therefore, the Chief Procurement Officer, who just got spanked by B.J. Cruz, for the Government of Guam's General Services Agency, is authorized to enter into contracts and incur obligations necessary to secure services, supplies, or goods to respond to the current public health emergency, including for the purchase of structural firefighting pumpers. Now, if they, like I said, if it's CARE money, if the federal money, if they can wrangle that language so that it fits somehow, I guess that's all right. If not, and the Fed comes back and says, yeah, we were thinking more in terms of PPEs and stuff that actually goes in the hospital and your public health centers, not necessarily buying more free goodies for your fire department. Tell you what, we're not going to allow that expenditure. You know who gets to pay for it? Taxpayers, me and you. We're holding the bag for it. Yeah, I've talked to the OPA about it. 6:35 in the morning, 888-8255. Wait, where I was stopped at Mark, right? Rick Leone, James Itokazu, Kenny Williams is there, David Lazard, Suzuki, Mike Suzuki, Havazook, Regis, Jay, Deborah, and Harry Agualo. Good morning to John, Anthony, Q, Tenorio, Takashi, Matsumoto, Katharina Polino, Bill Pettit, and Alan Bricadio. And looks like we're rounding things out with Linda Sablon, Netadog, CT Guam, and John Babauta Duenas, all watching the program here this morning. Do me a favor, if you can, hit the share button. Somewhere is a button or a symbol of an arrow pointing out. Let everybody that you know that's online, etc., know about the program and how much good times we have here as we make our way through today's headlines. Speaking of headlines, we'll get another dose of that with Mana Silva Tyrant. Huffa?
The governor eased some of the restrictions she had in place, allowing people now to have 10 people at their social gatherings. She's also increased capacity at churches and business establishments, some of them at least to 50%. The change is in response to the island seeing a low CAR score for a 2-week period. The executive order goes into effect at 8 this morning. Guam's 119th COVID-related fatality was recorded this week. A 44-year-old man who had underlying health conditions died at home. There were also 31 new cases of COVID reported by public health after they tested 1,165 people. And a Guam Fire Department firefighter assigned to Inaran Fire Station has also tested positive. The Guam International Airport also confirmed another couple of their employees have tested positive there. And those are your headlines right here on The Point.
Thanks so much, Mana. 6:37. Got traffic and more on the way.
We all need to fight COVID-19, and we need all the weapons we can get to beat it. Your smartphone can be one of the most powerful tools to battle this pandemic. The Guam COVID Alert Exposure Notification app can let you know if you've been exposed to someone who has the virus. Add your phone to the COVID fight by going to guamcovidalert.guam.gov or download it from the App Store or Google Play now. Help Guam stop COVID-19.
And now me, got it, 6:37 long tail on that spot, just FYI. Wendy's Guam's 2 for $5 is back. It's a win for everybody. Choose from the new classic chicken, Dave's single spicy chicken sandwich or a 10-piece nugget, and you pick any two for $5. This is such a big... None of the other fast food guys can do that. I haven't figured out how to do the math on this, but the guys over at Wendy's have. So call in advance for curbside pickup or drive-through to get your 2 for $5 deal today at Wendy's. Now that's better.
Did you know your smartphone is one of the most powerful tools in our fight against COVID-19? That's why we're bringing you the Guam COVID Alert Exposure Notification app. Developed by Google, Apple, and the PathCheck Foundation, the app works by letting you know if you've been exposed to someone who's positive. It's completely voluntary, and more importantly, it's anonymous. Add your phone to the COVID fight. Go to guamcovidalert.guam.gov or download it from the App Store or Google Play now. Help Guam stop COVID-19.
Short traffic report here this morning, 6:38 Tuesday morning on Guam, and I'm looking at almost no traffic out there. Maybe a little bit of intersection traffic. It looks like might be something over by Black Construction up in the back road, but otherwise everything is looking pretty good. Don't see any congestion over by the bases, Navy Hospital, Anderson Air Force Base, and Big Navy and Sumai, all running fairly clear here this morning. You see something like that people need to know about? Geysers in the middle of Marine Drive, that's always interesting. Go ahead and send those in at 988-5874. In the meantime, that's right now traffic. This is The Point.
Win a staycation getaway with 76 Circle K. Enter to win a 2-night stay in the luxurious Tsubaki Tower with breakfast at the Casa Oceano and an hour of pure bliss at the Spa Ayala for 2. And then choose your adventure. A 3-hour ocean escapade with Shut Up and Fish, the premier ocean tour service, or take a heart-pounding water adventure and go jet skiing with Joe's Jet Ski. Just purchase $30 or more in fuel at 76 Circle K for a chance to win. Visit 76 Circle K today and win the staycation of a lifetime. Conditions apply. See store for details.
I'm working on it here. Now is the time for a new Nissan. Hey, do they make fire trucks? Just checking. Now is that Nissan will make your first 3 payments on whatever it is that you are going to buy. We got a couple of great ideas on vehicles to look at this week over at Nissan. Financing as low as 1.99% on your awesome credit. Brand new Nissans as low as $84 a pay period. Now this week, I'd like to tell you about the 2020 Kicks. Best in class fuel economy. This is a great riding around town car. Safety Shields 360 standard on all trim levels. Now, you need something that's going to get you a little deeper into the village, maybe a little bit deeper into the boonies. How about the 2020 Rogue, the 5-year Consumers Digest Best Buy and America's best-selling SUV. Check out the Rogue Sport. You're going to love them. You're going to love driving them. You're going to love owning them, too. Great Nissans. If you want test drive, then go and check out Jan Pimentuan, Ricardo Castillo, and Jenilyn Galt today at Nissan.
Any speaker, anytime. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
No, Mikey, I got it already. Mikey, Congressman Mike St. Nicholas sending me a couple of notes here. Looks like Shelley Vargas Calvo has got a nomination, and my classmate, and some people refer to him as the real general, Rod Leon Guerrero has.
Well, he actually is a real general.
He's actually a real brigadier general. Yeah.
Not just wearing some fake stars. But
So he's got he has been recommended now to be what is it? I wrote it down. Deputy Secretary of Veterans Affairs.
Yeah.
That's a special nomination.
Big deal.
No, it is. Yeah. Because you think about all the guys that I graduated with, and there's a couple of guys that reached for the stars, like Rod,
like real stars.
Yeah, like real stars. And then you got me, who's basically doing the same job as I had when I was a junior in high school. But anyway, so really proud. All the guys father doing this.
A lot of people.
I suppose. Where's the thing? Yeah, we got Mrs. Chang, who sent over from the Korean Rice Cake Company in Harmon Industrial Park platters of Korean rice cakes for us. She says, we enjoy listening to the Ray Gibson Show Monday through Friday mornings, and Merry Christmas. Well, thank you so much.
Kamsahamnida.
Well, I don't know. It came in after we were gone yesterday.
Oh, that's true.
And we got
Kevin
people around
here?
here. Well, yeah. We have people here like
Kevin
vacuum
Darryl.
cleaners. So
Radio people, they're just always hungry.
Yeah.
there may or may not be some of that stuff left. And
But thank you, Mrs. Chang.
still trying to. Speaking of other chances, Roxy and Roxy had sent over all of
Another Mrs. Chang.
the great Christmas goodies.
Thank you.
The Oreos that you can't get on Guam, and what were the other two? There's the Oreos, Twinkies that you can't get on
mint.
Guam.
Mint
Yeah, because
chocolate.
they got
That was
different.
good. That was like, did you try it?
I did not
I
try
didn't
it.
try it.
No,
I tried one.
I gave it to the production girl.
It was good.
I tried to get Ray to
like
take it home, but he didn't want to.
It was a very soft, like chocolate mint, the Girl Scout cookie.
Dude, I'm not running as much as I should be.
Okay.
And so, like one Twinkie, it's one of those things where you go, I can cheat with one Twinkie,
Well,
and
two
you just go
Twinkies
from.
is a serving, so if you just have one, you're having only half a serving.
It's hardly worth it. But if I have both of them, well, I've cheated hard today. Might as well blow off running. Might as well. It's not like there's any races coming up that I got to train for or anything like that. So I just got to see if I can drop the weight. And then the suck part of it is like I'll go run. I'll do my 4 miles or something like that. Run around again your 4 miles, and then I'll go to Carabao and drink beer.
It's like
that's
a wheat
today.
smoothie.
That's today. What's that?
That's a wheat smoothie. It's
It
like
is.
a vegetable smoothie.
Let's try it out. 6:43 in the morning. 888-825-5888-TAO. Oh, speaking of Roxy Chang, she's on right now. John Paul Temchuk, Joey Kitchitsu, Mark Votlin, Nolly Laurentio, another one of my classmates, just probably thrilled and excited that Rod's got this nod. And Nolly, I don't know what the rest of us in the class of 80 have to do to get the congressman's attention and get some kind of nomination. So it's just a nomination, right? Somebody else is going to make the decision, like Biden. Do we know?
I don't know.
Okay. Eric Harper, Frank Blas,
Troy would know.
Joanne Fullerton, or Joan Fullerton, one or the other. Tim Lujan, Rick Duenas, and a bunch of other folks. John Babauta Duenas. Thanks so much for spending time. Who's the guy? Jeff from Pirates Cove online this morning and awake. This is what sunrise looked like about 9 minutes ago over at Pirates Cove for those of you that are watching online. 888-825-5888. Ah, there it is. You can just make out the opposite of the green flash where the sun is just beginning to take a nibble out of the horizon. And that's what it looked like this morning over at Pirates Cove. Maybe, I don't know. Boy, there's a guy I'd like to talk to. about the governor's conversation yesterday?
Oh.
Yeah.
Big celebration, I bet.
Oh, I'm sure he danced long into the night. I'm sure there was dancing long into the night. All these, I bet you Tom Pinehoff from over at Shady Lady and Live House, I'll bet he was just fit to be tied.
For sure.
Just sitting around here, COVID scores, car scores down by 1.6.
You know, my first thought was when I saw the governor come out, I was like, darn, he was right. Ray was right.
I told you.
I hate it when it happens.
I told
Ray
you.
was
Just
right.
keep your expectations. They did not do a good job, I think, of managing the expectations.
Well, this guy, and I was mentioning this to Ray, so like, when we first worked for Mom or Grandma.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
And so you work your butt off because you get increments every once in a while.
Going to give you a raise if you work
really
hard.
Yeah.
Really, really hard. And the first quarter comes around, you get 5 cents, 10 cents.
Here's your 10 cents.
And if you're really, really good, you might get a quarter at the end of the year.
Oh, this is massive stuff.
Yeah, so, I mean, per hour, 10 cents per hour.
Yeah. Back in those days, that was
day.
almost real money. Governor eases COVID-19 rules. It says here in the Guam Daily Post, the governor on Monday increased to 10 the number of people allowed at social gatherings and is now allowing 50% capacity at churches and stores with less than 2 weeks until Christmas. So we're going to take all that money that the Dave Del Sol is about to infuse into the economy around here and go spend it as fast as you can because now the stores that are open and can be receiving customers can have up to half of the capacity on the inside of it. So I kind of asked for that. That part there, and I will give credit to whoever it was. Maybe they said, well, we did hear Ray complaining more often about having to stand in line when he goes to Payless because he's too dumb to plan to go with the other Manumku early in the morning. Sorry, I work early in the morning, so it's not always practical for me to do any of that. But I'm glad to see that there will be more people allowed inside, maybe less people standing around and worrying about social distancing on the outside. So that I suppose is the bright spot for me. Since this nonsense has begun, I think I have had a total of one outdoor dining meal. Really? It was I don't consider it a meal if I'm eating a sandwich and fries over at Carabao. It's still good, but it's for me that's not why I went there. I went there for lamb
beer,
right? Oh. And if I eat something. Ooh, they've got these little things. Hold on, no. This is going to screw me up because everybody's going to hear this and go, actually, that sounds nice. So you know what a Reuben sandwich is, right?
I do.
Okay, so they take Reubens, the Reuben meat, and they stick it inside lumpia wrapping.
What? That's pastrami, right?
It's good. And you have that with the Thousand Island thing, and oh my God,
sauce.
yeah, and they're exactly the right size. You dip once on one side, bite, you flip it around, dip it on the other side, so nobody thinks that you're double dipping. It's just really, and there's never enough. Number one, there's never enough, but we're total chamorros around here, so we might have that one last one waiting for somebody to take the bite of it. But in terms of outdoor dining, I think Mayumi and Lynn and Stephen and I think we went to go eat at Crust once since this whole nonsense began. We sat outside and it was groovy. Service was excellent. The people were fine. The food was excellent. But it was raining, and it was one of those nights where it's almost a little bit of sideways rain. And they're just they're in a lot of places. There's not a whole lot of room to be able to move everything in your dining room out to the parking lot. So even though you can have up to 10 people now sitting at the tables, where will some of these businesses find the extra real estate in their parking lot or out in the driveway up to the place or in the sidewalk, that sliver of a sidewalk in front of the business, to be able to put space for another 5 people at the tables? No, so I'm thinking they're for some guys they might go, no, that's not quite my level of satisfaction. The churches, there's more. I'll read you all the restrictions that have been released. More gatherings, more congregation opportunities, hang out over at the beach with up to 10 people. Did they? So at some point, you guys can answer this question because I'm not sure. Did they at one point or another say that we can't barbecue on the beach anymore?
Oh no, I didn't hear that.
I think
because I'm not seeing it. I think people are
it wasn't that you're
squeamish about
not
that.
allowed to barbecue, but your group had to be within 5.
Yeah.
It was a limit on how many
It's only
people you
10,
could
10
have.
drumsticks on the grill.
Oh, no. You're talking about
Yeah,
the
so-
number of humans that you can have.
So now you can have 10.
10 drumsticks, 10 ribs, 10 tri-tip, bro.
Yeah.
Gotta try this, man. This is my uncle's recipe. It's a really good one. I got 5 kinds of marination going today, bro.
I miss barbecues.
I miss barbecues, and we've talked about that. But if it's okay, can you tell us? Can you very overt say
Again, look at
barbecue at the beach is okay?
Look at the public health guidance because it does tell you that you could gather, but you have to have 10 people, no more than 10 people.
Okay, but in that gathering, can I make a fire and cook dead animals on it? And veggies.
There was never any restriction on barbecues.
Well, I thought the idea was that you can only go to the beach if you're exercising. Or some kind of mental or physical exercise. And so barbecuing might not be considered mental or physical exercise
kind of
by the
like
yellow
your-
shirts, right?
Your bicep, tricep.
Yeah, you can
Exercise.
12-ounce curls, all of that kind of thing. But anyway, so that's where we go. It's still mandatory. We are still, believe it or not, in PCOR 1. That's, what? Hey, excuse.
I didn't even know there was still such a thing.
Oh, man.
I thought, yes, have we, for all intents
I
and
thought we
purposes.
traded it in for a car.
See, now that would be a perfect time to bust a commercial. Just go, ba-dum-bump. All right, good job, Mana. Pandemic condition of readiness 1, Guam continues to be in PCOR 1, during which some of the most restrictive conditions are imposed in an effort to slow the spread of COVID-19 in our community. So we got that. Still mandatory social distancing. We're still considered safer at home, even though the territorial epidemiologist and the chairman of the governor's own physicians advisory group says, yeah, it's actually pretty dangerous at home. That's where we're seeing the majority of the spread here is people sitting around the houses too much. So we got social gathering effective at 8 o'clock this morning. Social gatherings or congregations shall be limited to no more than 10 persons unless otherwise provided herein or in applicable Department of Public Health and Secret Service guidance. Places of worship as of 8 o'clock this morning may resume services, ceremonies, and operations at no greater than 50% of the occupancy load. Places of worship intending to operate under this modified occupancy. I don't even know why I'm reading this because, in my mind, the places of worship don't have to listen to Lou. She's not the boss of them.
That's true.
Because it's a whole First Amendment deal and all of that.
Yeah, see, so I'm looking at the public health guide, and it's on Homeland Security's webpage here, ghs.guam.gov, if you want to take a look at it.
Does it
and
say
it
I can
says,
barbecue?
Government of Guam Parks and Beaches, effective 8 a.m., December 15th, which is today. Parks and beaches shall be open to the public, and congregations shall be limited to no more than 10 persons. It doesn't say anything about exercise.
Right. So just go ahead and enjoy the park.
You can enjoy the park if you have no more than 10 people.
Break out the tunky.
Yeah.
Break it out.
See you guys later.
That's based on our read here this morning. Authorized businesses, occupancy load limitations, and mitigation requirements are set forth in terms of outdoor recreation. I'm delighted to see this. Public swimming pools are now open. Wow, how about that?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll meet
do
you
we
at
have
Ganya
any?
Pool.
Do we have any?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I don't think so.
I mean, you can go to the hotel, jump in the pool, and when the guard comes after you.
No,
gotta-
the private pools are open. You can do the private pools to the extent individuals. Such congregations shall be limited to no more than 10 persons. So you and 9 other people on this end of the swimming pool, you and another 9 people over on that end of the swimming pool is going to be okay.
and no one's allowed to pee in the pool.
They have a special dye. In some of the pools. Emergency procurement for structural firefighting pumpers. Yeah, this is the one that's going to be interesting. This is the one. Yeah, the chief procurement officer, like I said, didn't BJ Cruz said a thing here, violation of ethical standards and misinterpretation of the rules when it comes to charitable donations to the government of Guam. I don't know if I was the chief, Claudia, right? If I was Claudia. Yeah, I'd look for that GSA 10-foot pole and go, yeah, I don't know. Tell you what, you really want this? Go through civil defense. Let civil defense do this. Let them figure out how to do all this because I don't want to be the last signature on all of this if the federal government says, yeah, that's not really a COVID-19 pandemic purchase that you guys are making. 6:54 in the morning. So that's going to keep us busy all morning long. There's a bunch of other things up to and including what were you waiting for in the conversation? Now, we know that forget the bars. Forget if you have a liquor license on Guam and a business license that is specific and you can only run a bar, you might as well mail it back. Either that or take whatever scratch you've got left, get with Regina and Tom and their lawyers and help fight this thing over in district court. Otherwise, your businesses are going to be sunk. You're going to get a token payment, maybe out of the small business rent relief program, but more than likely not going to get anything from them. And it doesn't appear that anybody is willing to come out and help you guys out whatsoever. We got different organizations that we've got here on Guam that are supposed to be pledged to help out businesses like yours. Forget about it. What's the hat say? DEH. Now, and that's not for Department of Environmental Health. It means don't expect any help. And even if you came out, this would be the thing, and I appreciate Tom Pineoff making a point in one of the interviews this morning where he said, why can't we be like the restaurants? So if the restaurants can do outdoor dining, why can we not facilitate our business with an outdoor bar situation?
That would be cool.
We'll just take our, everything's going to be in coolers.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll buy Yetis. I'll buy Yetis.
Yeah.
We'll get Yeti coolers. Saw a buddy of mine with a Yeti cooler, said Steeler. And so what? I said, you don't make enough to afford that. Who'd you steal that from? You waited until somebody's head was turned over at Epal Beach. You snagged that thing, ran like hell, didn't you?
I have Yeti Envy too.
Yeah, well, I got Mana got me the little Yeti can cooler, which is nice. Except one thing. Do you realize that it doesn't fit Japanese beer cans?
No.
Try this out. No. If you got a Yeti beer cooler,
I have.
You put a Bud Light in there, fits perfectly. You put if you put an Acai Super Dry in there, it kind of wiggles up and down. There's just the inquiring minds want to know. But so the bar businesses, and I'm sure that their expectations were very low as well when listening to the governor and that crappy audio that they had in the Facebook Live. Now the other people that might have been listening for some kind of a clue from Lou is every parent on Guam that is still in the midst right now of some kind of distance learning at home and waiting for that nightmare to end. Where you're sitting there going, okay, wait, she's going to mention it now. She's going to say it now about whether or not they're going to be able to open schools up pretty soon for face-to-face learning in the classrooms. Hold on. Hold on. Quiet. Nothing. No guidance on that yet whatsoever. Now, this is starting to get kind of important now because the board, what did we say? We're talking to Mark Mendiola yesterday, and the board, I think they've got a meeting today to get ready for another meeting on the 18th that they're going to be having to have this conversation about what their options are going to be. It would have been nice if there had been some kind of guidance from our elected representatives on what exactly was going to be taking place or how they could move forward on that. So there's a whole other population of the island and that might be a little bit upset because they're not hearing some of the things that they need to hear. Now, I don't care because, Miami's doing a good job with her distance learning near as I can tell. I'm not getting any hate mail from, because they have that, right, on the little things, the interactive in the schools. So if Miami was doing a bad job, they would have sent something out that said, you need better parenting skills, Gibson. They would have said something like that, but I'm not getting it yet. So as far as I'm concerned, she's doing just fine. That and her mom gets to worry about that, not me. But anyway, so you got that universe of that spectrum of people that were waiting for that opportunity to at least come up with a plan. And isn't that what we want? Isn't that what we'd like to see? And again, this is why my expectations were very, very low. Because, number one, I knew we weren't going to get anything. I knew that there was going to be a great level of perhaps dissatisfaction with all of this stuff. And I'm, frankly, already used to making my own plans. Because if you wait for guidance, that word, from anybody out there in the land of government, forget about operating your business, forget about operating your life, forget about being able to go forward with some semblance of an idea of what the future is going to be like, because we didn't get anything. So here's the surprise for businesses now. You can now have 50% capacity in your stores. What are you going to have to do? Are you ready this morning at 8 o'clock to be able to take more customers in your store? Are you ready for that kind of thing? Is that more people coming through? That's more scanning that we've got to do, more hand sanitizing that we got to do, more walking around the store saying, hey, 6 feet, 6 feet, 6 feet. Are you ready for that kind of thing? Would have been nice to know that, I don't know, maybe earlier in the week so you could call additional staff, so you could have more plastic bags at the cash register, all of those things. So, it's, if you think that if you want to plan for 2021, don't look for guidance from the government of Guam. You have to make your own plans and see your way through. In minutes, seconds, it'll be 7 o'clock in the morning. Radio stations, KUSG, I got you. Fox News Live is coming up next. Mana Silva Tyron with all the big stories on the other side of that. Jerry Roberts and the Extra Point. We'll try to remember to take a look at what happened on the market here today and see where all of that is happening based on the Electoral College vote that is being conducted right about now. 7 a.m., here's Fox News on the Point.
And Lisa Brady, Fox News, where we have just crossed a new COVID milestone in the United States. The virus has now killed over 300,000 people in this country. It's day one, though, of a massive effort to beat it, with vaccinations beginning around the U.S. Fox's Eben Brown is live in Miramar, Florida.
Yeah, Lisa, Memorial Healthcare, which operates a number of hospitals in Broward County, Florida, outside Fort Lauderdale, is ready to vaccinate thousands of staffers with the supply they received today. Dr. Aaron Sorelli is the first to be vaccinated. He is the chief of the hospital's critical care.
I think that the COVID-19 vaccine offers us our first real hope in curbing the epidemiology of this virus and really making an impact in the community.
He adds it was just a shot in the arm, no worse than a flu shot, and he had no immediate side effects. He believes it is safe. Lisa.
Thanks, Eben. Healthcare workers and residents of long-term care facilities are the top priority for the first tranche of the vaccines. It's also a milestone day in the presidential race as electors across the country cast their votes.
We have 6 votes for Joseph R. Biden for president and 6 votes for Kamala D. Harris for vice president.
That was Nevada. Fox's John Decker is live at the White House.
President Trump's lead in the Electoral College evaporated by noon when electors in several states cast their votes, including 3 battleground states, Georgia, Arizona, and Pennsylvania. Throughout the day, all 538 electors are meeting in their respective states to cast their votes for president based on the election results that were recently certified by all 50 states and Washington, D.C. The Electoral College meeting has drawn extra attention this year because of the Trump campaign's failing efforts in state and federal courts to try to get the results overturned. Lisa?
America's listening to Fox News.
Hafaday, this is Carl from APL Guam. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated team in Guam and on the U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro in Hagåtña and Mezcla Dos Upper Tumon are now open for takeout and delivery services. For more information, call now at 479-2652 or 3 or Mezcla Dos at 646-6295. Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro brings you island hospitality with the true taste of modern Chamorro cuisine at the comfort of your own home. They take your local favorite dishes and serve them with extra flair you will only find at Mezcla. Mezcla, a true taste of Guam.
A church shooting remains under investigation in New York City.
It happened late Sunday afternoon at the historic landmark, the Cathedral of St. John the Divine in Manhattan's Upper West Side. A gunman wearing a mask fired with 2 handguns from the top of the cathedral steps. Multiple shots were fired. Police shot back. The gunman was shot in the head and pronounced dead at a nearby hospital. No one else was injured. His identity has not yet been released. Reports say he is a 52-year-old man with a long criminal record. Police believe the incident could have been much worse.
Fox's Lauren Green. In a bag believed to belong to the suspect, police found a full can of gasoline, rope, wire, and multiple knives. A ban on indoor dining taking effect in New York City restaurants today as the effort to slow the spread of COVID continues. But some restaurant owners say they can't survive another round of restrictions, including Brant Crenshaw in California.
Look, I get everybody wants to make or should make their own decisions on comfort levels of going out to dine. And if you don't want to go because you don't feel it's safe, more power to you. But there's plenty of people out here that want to, make decisions for themselves.
The city of Solvang voted to defy Governor Newsom's latest stay-at-home order. A mom working from home gets a big shock as her young son makes more than $16,000 in purchases from Apple's App Store in his favorite video games.
6-year-old George Johnson's mother didn't realize her son had access to her iPad and began making the in-app purchases for his favorite Sonic Forces video game. What began as $2 soon moved up to $99, all while mom was working in the next room. At first, she thought it was fraud, but eventually found out that it was her son. Mom is currently trying to get a refund.
Fox's Mike Gunzelman. A strong start, but a mixed finish on Wall Street. The Dow drops 184 points, back under 30K. Lisa Brady, Fox News.
It's time to mix things up at Subway. Come in and get Subway's new barbecue chicken sandwich. Tender chicken strips topped with generous portions of sweet barbecue sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Add on crisp lettuce, onions, and tangy pickles on your favorite freshly baked bread. Perfect to satisfy just about anyone's flavor craving. It's Subway's new barbecue chicken sandwich, available for limited time only, so try it today. At Subway, make it what you want.
Did you know your smartphone is one of the most powerful tools in our fight against COVID-19? That's why we're bringing you the Guam COVID Alert Exposure Notification app. Developed by Google, Apple, and the PathCheck Foundation, the app works by letting you know if you've been exposed to someone who's positive. It's completely voluntary, and more importantly, it's anonymous. Add your phone to the COVID fight. Go to guamcovidalert.guam.gov or download it from the App Store or Google Play now. Help Guam stop COVID-19.
Win a staycation getaway with 76 Circle K. Enter to win a 2-night stay in the luxurious Tsubaki Tower with breakfast at the Casa Oceano and an hour of pure bliss at the Spa Ayala for 2. And then choose your adventure. A 3-hour ocean escapade with Shut Up and Fish, the premier ocean tour service, or take a heart-pounding water adventure and go jet skiing with Joe's Jet Ski. Just purchase $30 or more in fuel at 76 Circle K for a chance to win. Visit 76 Circle K today and win the staycation of a lifetime. Conditions apply. See store for details.
Off the day, it's 7:06. I'm Mona Silva Tyron with a look at your local news here on The Point. The governor yesterday, in an executive order, has made a few modifications to her restrictions that she's put in place in response to the pandemic, and now has allowed for there to be 10 people at a social gathering, and has also increased the capacity at churches and some businesses now to 50%. It was a slight change to the pandemic restrictions, but an easing nonetheless. All in response, she says, to the island seeing a low CAR score for a 2-week period. The latest CAR score is 1.3. And while people had been looking forward to a bit more by way of the easing of restrictions, the governor says she's not risking the community's success by celebrating too early. The executive order goes into effect at 8 this morning. Now, the order allows for 10 people to dine together at a restaurant. It still requires outdoor dining. Bars are still closed, and there was no mention on whether schools will be opened anytime soon. Public Health has also issued their guidance to advise the public of the restrictions and allowances in line with the executive order. The guidance is related to social gatherings, exercising in groups, and the use of public parks. Of course, those limiting group activities to only 10. It also addresses business occupancy, non-contact sports like golfing, and religious activities. Well, the government's looking at the end of the week for the first of the shipment of vaccines to arrive on island. Public Health placed its first order this week for the Pfizer vaccines. They're expecting about 3,900 doses to come with the first batch, and then they will order the second batch of another 3,900. Additionally, Public Health has placed its first order for the Moderna vaccine, and that was made on December 12th for a total of 3,800 doses. The vaccine from Moderna, though, must still undergo the same review and approval process as the Pfizer vaccine before distribution can take place here. We'll have more news right after this.
Wow, nice smile. So perfect and all.
Thanks. I owe it all to Dr. Robert Yang and his smile team. They do wonders for a healthy, happy mouth.
Got teeth? Don't wait until they hurt. Schedule your routine checkup and cleaning with Dr. Yang and his smile team. Suite 119 in the East West Business Center, Upper Tumon. Call 647-8702 or 3.
The best thing that happened to teeth since toothpaste.
Dr. Yang and his smile team.
They make smiles happen.
Public Health recorded 31 new cases of COVID after they tested 1,165 people. One case was identified through contact tracing. 2 other cases reported recent travel and was identified in quarantine. As of yesterday, there were a total of 7,137 officially reported cases of coronavirus on Guam. The island also saw its 119th COVID-related death. A 44-year-old man with underlying health conditions died at home earlier this week. And a Guam firefighter assigned to the Inaran Fire Station has tested positive for COVID-19. The firefighter remains in isolation at home. Emergency operations continue with the adjustments made to some scheduling for firefighters assigned. The Guam Airport Authority has also confirmed 2 other employees there have tested positive. The name of the man has not been released by the Guam Police Department, but investigators have identified or may have identified the next of kin. The man whose body was pulled from waters off of Agana Boat Basin is believed to be a fisherman who was discovered by spear fishermen in the area of the marina. And a 24-year-old woman who was wanted in connection with a 2017 drug case was caught by U.S. Customs agents arriving at the airport. The woman remained in the airport custody as she appeared before the Superior Court of Guam Judge Anita Sokola. The judge, however, wants to know why the Department of Correction refused to confine her. The judge is now ordering the Department of Corrections director to appear before her court on Friday to answer why her bench warrant was not followed through. The defendant is currently being held at a quarantine facility. And those are your top stories here on The Point. Here's Ray.
What is she complaining about?
Well,
because the Department of Corrections
refused to confine her because they have now restrictions. And if you're not a high-risk arrestee.
That's right. And remember, they lost an employee. They lost one of their guys to COVID-19. So they're extremely sensitive about that kind of thing. But that's the same judge that lets virtually everybody go. And she's mad because the Department of Corrections, with I thought a pretty good reason, decided that this person is not enough of a risk to the community. We don't, just tell her to stay home. You let her stay at your place. How's that? You want to do it that way? I don't know.
Well, she wants to be the one to release them.
Oh, just ridiculous. 7:11 in the morning. Where's my weather? Where's the weather here today? Let me get that. Partly cloudy, isolated showers this morning, partly sunny, isolated showers, scattered showers this afternoon, easterly winds up to about 20 miles an hour. Daytime highs today should be about 86 degrees. I had the weather thing up here for a second. I got the satellite. Let me put that back up on the screen and see where we are here. Looks like there's not a whole lot happening in the neighborhood. Of course, that can change rapidly, so make sure you've always got an umbrella in the car because according to Real Joe, there's a 20% chance of showers today, partly cloudy tonight with those isolated showers, easterly winds 10 to 20 miles an hour, and overnight low should be about 77 degrees. Tomorrow, same thing, about 87 degrees. Heat index today about 90, and sunset is going to be at 1756. I'll translate that for you. For those of you that did not have the privilege of service, I didn't either, but I was in ROTC and I'm a ham radio guy. 1756 is 556. Guam time 556. Hashtag tell the others. Let's all bundle up for a sunset tonight and enjoy the way our Tuesday night works. 7:13 or so. That's news and weather together on The Point.
Coffee Day. I'm Chelsea Nicholas, and I'm the co-chair for this year's G is for Giving, as well as a proud alumna of the University of Guam. G is for Giving is an annual campaign that kicks off on the Tuesday following Thanksgiving and runs through the end of the year. Known as Giving Tuesday, it is an international day of giving, and this year's theme is Weaving Community. On Guam, we know a little something about weaving community, as we're all intertwined and interconnected in the spirit of Enough Malik. When one of us thrives, the island thrives. This is why I support G is for Giving's mission to support scholarships, programs, and research. As an alumna, I know how difficult it is to balance going to school and worrying about how you're going to pay for school. In these uncertain times, students are even more at risk because of economic hardship beyond their control. G is for Giving aims to bridge that gap and take away at least some of the burden. For more information on how you can give, visit give.uog.edu or call the UOG Endowment Foundation at 735-2957. Have a happy and safe holiday.
Okay, I will. It's 7:13 in the morning. Just FYI, have you seen the Grinch meme that's floating around?
No.
Somebody photoshopped the Grinch and the governor in the same thing. Anyways, I've got a higher level of class here in the program. I'm not going to play that because that's disgusting and low.
Oh.
But somebody did send me a thing with an actual Grinch on it. It's a Grinch wearing a holiday-themed, COVID-19 themed mask that says, "I hate wearing this."
I feel you, Grinch.
There you go. Nobody said. I got to do commercials now?
Yes, sir.
I was going to applaud you. I was going to, yeah. I think it's vital when you see somebody doing something out of the ordinary. I think it's important to say, you know what, good job. So Real Joe has made no secret in social media of being on the lookout for, what is it, the E9 or above, or the X of an E9 or above.
Here we go.
You want real stars?
Yeah. and so anyway, so he's got this thing up on the screen, and it's a picture of one lumpia.
Yeah.
One of the big ones, like Lumpia House Lumpia, right?
Lonely Lumpia.
Lonely Lumpia. And he says, ladies, there's 4 more like this. If you're the right kind of woman, E9 or the X of an E9 or above.
Full benefits, please.
Single child.
Man, you get your own
single
parking
mom.
if you get an E9.
Mild daddy issues.
Mild daddy issues. Gotcha. And all I can say is, dude, that's just freaking genius. I'm going, why didn't I think of that? I bow to your superior wisdom and intellect, Real Joe. 7:15 in the morning. And now what Real Joe is doing for the dating scene is what Security Title does with the real estate scene. I'm going to try to put these two things together here. As I say, Security Title, casting a giant shadow in the industry, ladies and gentlemen. Many of the other title companies don't deserve to even be in that shadow. Security Title, these are the guys that will go through every transaction, every line, every detail, and make sure that there are no blemishes. So when it comes to signing time, you are confident that you have got the title to whatever it is that you are buying. So check them out today if you're going to be doing any real estate stuff. They're also really good about handing out advice. They got a kind of a 360-degree view of the real estate environment here on Guam, and can point you out in a couple of savvy directions. Portions of the program also brought to you by APL American President Lines, global presence with a local home.
The Ray Gibson Show, bringing you closer to the action. This is The Point, Guam's FM News Talk Superstation.
$7:16, and now as much as I thought Real Joe was right on with his attempt, there are others with different game. Do you have car game? Do you have car game?
No, not really.
I don't have car. I got
car game.
I don't have. I got a truck. And it's dirty as hell. So I don't know. I mean, I think that, it'd be one of those things. If I drove up to somebody's place and said, "Hey, you want to get in my ride?" and they'd look at it and go, "I'll get tetanus in that." It's probably a pretty fair assumption. So if you got car game, I think that will work out for you, especially if you're trying to land that big E9 fish.
Maybe.
Could be. This guy here sent me a picture of it's his car, and it's actually got some kind of a name here. It says, "Ladies, my Mercedes." I haven't seen one of those things in forever, right?
How is this guy still single? Wow.
I don't know. 77. Ladies, my Mercedes. If you got it, flaunt it, as we used to say back in the 1970s. And if you don't want to steal this guy's car game, you don't have to call it a Mercedes, even though it's kind of cool. You can call it a Turvette.
Oh.
I got my Turvette there in the parking lot. Why don't you jump in there? I'll drive carefully, because every time I hit a bump, the glove compartment door opens. 7:17 in the morning. What are we supposed to be doing here? I got to take a look at what happened on the market here. Markets have got some crazy reactions. There is, never mind the stuff about the election and the Electoral College and all of that. The markets are actually down this morning. Because people are worried about all of the new restrictions. Would the governor make a reference to a third wave? Of course there's going to be a third wave. Nobody's ready to relinquish all of their power. You think the pencil necks over at Public Health and Secret Service want to go back to their old normal? We didn't have Hatch lives. We didn't have badges that we could be wearing all over the place and just knock on somebody's restaurant door and, we're just here to count the number of people at the tables here. Is that 5? There's a dog. I see a dog. That's 5.5. I got to issue you a citation here. Nobody wants to go back to the way it was before. Everybody wants to hold on to their power. So yeah, let's scare the heck out of everybody by even suggesting that there's going to be a third wave. I thought when the vaccine is coming out, I thought maybe that was going to help get us to some kind of a herd immunity. But anyways, so they're worried about, and it's not so much the third wave. It is the unnecessary and rash responses to those, i.e. California, where they just they don't seem to care anything about anybody. But it's not everybody. It's not every state that's doing that. And I wanted to take a minute here in a second to talk about what's going on in the state of Hawaii, which seems to be kind of a standard bearer for nonsense in the Pacific. But this time last week we were talking about them taking out a loan for $750 million. And to cover payroll for the state of Hawaii. But wait, there's more. And I'm gonna emphasize that there's more, because there's all kinds of guys that even after I talked about it on Tuesday, were still sending me, hey, did you hear that Hawaii got a $750 million loan to pay their payroll? I'm like, dude, that was Tuesday. I covered that story on Tuesday. Try to stay up with me here. But anyway, here's the money on the market. S&P 500 loses 15 points. They closed at 36.47. The NASDAQ at 12,440. Of the American markets, these guys are the only winners. They picked up 62 points. Dow Jones Industrial Average off by 185 points, back under 30,000 again, 29,861. FTSE's off by 15. The Nikkei is up by almost 80. Hang Seng loses 116 points. They're closed at 26,389. I got the Shanghai Index up by 21 and the DAX up by 108. You take a look at the big movers in the market and the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Are you ready? McDonald's.
Wow.
McDonald's picked up a couple of percent here. Not bad for these guys. Intel, Amgen, Visa, and Microsoft Corporation. Don't know what I don't know why. I'm not really paying attention up on the computer scene, so I'm not sure why we'd be seeing Intel and Microsoft up as high as they are. And McDonald's with a 2% increase. Is that all McRib?
Yeah.
Dude, I had one.
Yeah.
It's the McPlant. Thank you, Tofu Breath. At the bottom of this, Walt Disney, Chevron, Johnson & Johnson, Merck & Company, and American Express round out the bottom five for what's happening in the Dow. I do want to take a look at the Nasdaq and see where we were. Why the Nasdaq was the only guy that was running high, and it's because of all the pharmaceuticals that we've got. Alexion, Insight, Tesla's in there with a 5% increase. Regeneron and BioMarin pharmacies at pharmaceuticals at 4.22% worth of an increase. And generally, everybody that has got pharmaceuticals at the end of their names probably doing pretty good right now.
Regeneron's the one that has the monoclonal antibodies.
Is
right?
it?
Isn't that the one?
You pay far more attention to that than I do, and I'm it's like a hobby for you. Well, there's another drug that, in fact, George Macris and I might talk about this a little bit later on, just because it's interesting. A buddy of mine, medical buddy of mine, sent me a thing yesterday and a hearing that took place in Congress where the guy was talking about a drug called ivermectin.
Yeah.
Ivermectin.
Oh, been out a long time.
Yeah. And saying why I don't know why we're hell bent in one direction where we can take ivermectin. It's available and you can give it to people on a prophylaxis basis. And this guy was saying, this doctor was saying that everybody that he gave it to in his clinics, nobody got sick. Yeah. No, nobody got sick. So he gave it to them on a prophylactic basis, and they came all the way through with flying colors.
But Trump never mentioned it, so nobody got upset about it.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah,
Anyways, we'll talk more about that kind of thing a little bit later on. Jerry Roberts in the studio, and now here's the big deal in Hawaii. As I said, the last week's news, we borrowed $750 million to cover payroll, and they know They did. And that's Iggy. I'm using Iggy. I'm talking like Iggy now. But so they also know they're going into 2021, and it's going to stink in 2021. So he says we're going to do furloughs. Well, guess who came in at the end of that conversation and said, "Oh, not so fast there, Mr. Governor. That's a union town.
Union, yeah.
And the union towns are saying, we have contracts, and you cannot touch the contracts while we're in the midst of these contracts. The governor says, well, what do you expect me to do here? The revenue's not going to be coming in. I got to furlough the people. We got to make some changes around here. Might have to go into early retirement for a lot of people. You remember when we did that back in the day and started finding people that were this close to retirement and incentivized them.
Yep.
And they got on airplanes and left Guam and only come back when somebody dies or is getting married. That's what happens when you do that. And anyway, so the next thing is, and get ready to hear this refrain. It will be the song that we're going to be singing next year. Iggy says, I'm contemplating tax increases. In a press conference, he lays out the state of affairs. A journalist says, Governor, since you brought it up, maybe we could speak to the possibility of raising taxes, because that's certainly out there, and you certainly hear that from the union memberships. They use certainly out there, like Joanne Brown certainly uses it a lot. If the legislature were to move tax increases and ask you to sign them, would you do it? Iggy's response follows. It's too complicated to respond, but I'd like to, I would be looking at where I'm required to submit a financial plan, and we're looking at the revenues that we expect that the council will forecast. And really, I understand we set a target for reducing the size of state government and cutting the budget as part of our program review at $600 million. And it's tough. It's hard to find $600 million of cuts in the state budget. A lot of programs that we provide are the things that we need to do in an emergency. Unemployment insurance, Medicaid, SNAP, all those social safety net programs, demand for services is the highest it's been. So, yeah. Somebody comes to me with what looks like increases of the taxes, going to look seriously at them.
Well, I mean, money's got to come from somewhere. Either you stop spending it, you cut back on things, or you have to raise revenues.
And
that's taxes.
That's the one equals the other. A lot of people don't realize that. They go raising revenues like it's going to be somebody else's problem. And it was in the last couple of weeks, and there are a couple of stories in the Guam Daily Post. Les Carlson basically starting to ring that bell, and maybe we're going to need to go back to the legislature for some kind of relief, and the relief will come to us in form of a tax increase, because there's never been a time where the government of Guam employees were the jobs, the numbers were reduced on their own. There's no reorganization.
Never happened.
Never happened. So grit your teeth, friends. 7:25 in the morning.
Well, it could happen, but it would require having to take the vote away from anybody who has a Guam paycheck.
Dude, not even
if you can do that, then maybe you can wind up furloughing people and stuff or whatever.
I don't know. It's one of those threats that never ever comes true, and we're left with this temporary. Remember, it was supposed to be temporary increase to the 5% business privilege tax until Lou saw it and said, "No, I like this. We're going to keep this.
We're going to keep that one
forever." It's 7:26 in the morning. 2 times Jerry Roberts today. You get him once on the radio, and pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post, where you'll find his fascinating article, "Bosses and Learning Opportunities in Today's Workforce zone."
What could that be?
Bosses and learning opportunities. I think it was Jerry Roberts that once told me, he says, "Ray, employees are people too." And I'm sorry. Mind blown. Poof. Wow. Imagine. So anyway, go and find it, especially if you're a new boss. Especially if you're a new boss and want to know how the world turns. And
I saw Joe pointing at himself.
You're a person?
I'm a person too.
Mostly.
Mostly.
I'm dead inside though.
So employee.
Went back away from the microphone. Back away. Don't say it.
It's okay.
I got you, Joe.
We're
got you back.
That's why we're in radio. We're all a little broken somewhere. But that's the cracks. That's where the light shines through, bro. You feeling it?
Yeah, Oprah.
Just having his period again. Okay.
We need some appropriate music here. Come on, we got some music.
Piano.
Any music that'll bring on. That's it. That's the one. It evokes tears every time I hear it.
I'm sorry. That line about cracks is where the light shines through. I think I used that to hit on a chick once. You got it.
And promptly got smacked with something, right?
You got to have good philosophy game here. You got to have that good I'm a softie cred game thing going. Anyway, 7:28. Jerry Robertson is today. We're going to try to get to you on time here this morning with today's
I
Extra
never
Point.
said that Guam workers should have the vote taken away. Just wanted to say that was just something, just kind of, we were floating.
For clarity.
It was clarity. It had nothing to do with reality. We're not going to do that. Never going to do that.
Never going to happen.
No.
728. Although I think it's interesting to see where Regine Biscoli is telling the employees of the government of Guam to check your privilege. Check your privilege. Did you see that? I'll read it to you a little bit later on.
Oh.
All right, the Extra Point brought to you by Guahan Insurance Services and the team over at First Hawaiian Bank, where it all starts with yes.
About a year ago, with the exciting prospects of a brand new year just around the corner, I wrote about things I wanted to do and felt everybody should strive to do. With 2020 about ready to take place in the rearview mirror, I want to revisit that list and see how I feel about those objectives. We'll head down that path next on the Extra Point.
When's the last time you looked at your homeowner's insurance?
An easily overlooked part of covering our home is what's inside of it. Over time, we buy things we don't want to lose, but don't update our contents coverage. The smart thing to do is get the answers and level up our insurance to make sure we're totally protected.
That's the Insurance Extra Point. Get out there and make something good happen today by calling Guahan Insurance Services at 475-1162 or visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center in Tamuning.
It was just about a year ago that I wrote a series of Extra Points with the perspective of someone who was looking to move up, to get further and do better. What were some things you could do to increase your chances? Not difficult things, mind you, but simple things to add to your image in the organization. Things that, if done right and done consistently, could lead to some doors opening for you. Regardless of how you feel about 2020 and the pandemic that has changed the life of everyone on the planet, we're getting ready to turn the page into 2021, and there is reason to hope life is better in the new year if the virus is better controlled and economies rebuild. For this particular conversation, we'll stay away from the murky politics involved and assume all goes well or as well as can be expected, that restrictions are lifted and we focus on moving forward. The goal is about rebranding yourself as a doer, thinker, problem solver, team player, and major asset to your employer. It works if you're a manager, and it works if you're the newest entry-level hire in the organization. Number one, give big-time value to your job more than ever. Employers need people to step up and deliver. It's not just your employer, but it's also the coworker next to you. An organization is like a vessel, large or small, navigating its way through economic waters. If the captain of the ship has charted the right course, and if everybody on board does their best, the chances of arriving at the desired port are improved. The key to remember is that we're all on board, and if the ship goes down, we all go down with it. What you do, what I do, what the person across from us does today and every day matters to the overall health and well-being of everybody riding out the voyage. Number two, be enthusiastic. It's contagious. So is negativity. Without knowing what was coming our way, I wrote this line a year ago: choose your virus well and be a carrier every day. Positivity and negativity are as much viruses as is the coronavirus, but there is one huge difference. Nobody is asymptomatic. You don't need to jam a swab up somebody's nose to guess whether somebody has it or not. It's plain to see in their attitude. Think of the people around you. Which virus do they show symptoms of? Who has the negativity virus? Talking down people in the company or ideas, and always looking to throw cold water on somebody else's joy. As I'm saying the word negativity, whose faces are you seeing? If I ask the worker next to you the same question, whose face would they be seeing? Now, who has the positivity virus? Who brightens the day of everybody they meet? Whose face are you seeing now? How would you feel if it was your face that your workers visualized, your coworkers visualized? Have you ever seen a workplace that buzzes with positivity? It also buzzes with something else, productivity, because everybody is pulling on the rope in the same direction at the same time, and the organization prospers. It starts at the top with the ultimate leader. If that's you and you're not enthusiastic, well, then why on earth should anybody else be? Become a super spreader and infect the rest of your managers. They, in turn, then pass it on to every other member of the team. We're not out of the COVID woods yet. We don't know how successful the vaccines will be. We don't know what surprises politicians have for us in the new year. We don't know how close we'll get to a return to lives that were snatched away from each of us in 2020. I'll tell you this, and you can take this to the bank. As it always has been, our attitude will play a key role in what we're able to ring up in 2021. Be more enthusiastic, and eventually the right people are going to notice. Your journey, starting now, might lead you to destinations you can't even imagine. There's more tomorrow on how to get further and do better in the coming year. That's the Extra Point. Be responsible and make something good happen today. For 93.3, The Ray Gibson Show, Guahan Insurance Services, and First Hawaiian Bank. I'm Jerry Roberts.
Gotcha. And our positivity is the weirdo next door. That's when you say positivity, I always think of real Joe Cruz, even though he's a broken individual. He's a broken man. You know, he still comes to work every morning, makes the place smell like Fabuloso, and just, you know, he's also the guy that, you know, if you need something, you call Joe, and he'll tell you the name of somebody that can help you.
I'm rebranding him. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Solid Dude.
Oh.
Write it down.
Write it down,
I
because
want
we'll
to
forget it in 10
I want to
minutes.
see a T-shirt.
Solid Dude.
Solid Dude.
I like it.
Right there. That's you, man.
Thank you.
Romeo Miranda can make one of those for you.
Thank you.
Solid. Gotta say it like that. Solid.
And the hat would just say SD.
Okay.
On it. Solid Dude.
The real solid Joe Cruz.
Stupid dude. Stumpy dude. It's time for the...
Don't let him steal your joy.
7:35 in the morning.
Solid Dude.
We gotta do the headlines now. Auntie Loli Cameron, Remax Diamond Realty for all of your real estate needs. Give her a ring. 688-6743 brings you the 7:30 newscast at 7:35. Also being brought to you at 7:35, the 7:30 news by Top End Pest Control with Ken and Karen, all waiting for an opportunity to go and look in your cupboards. Looking good. Yeah, you ever do that? Oh my God, I got Ken's coming over today. I got to clean the house. And he goes, it's okay, I've seen a lot worse, Gibson. And I'm going, wow, you must have been in some really awful places if you think my place is clean. 7:35, and now headline news with Montesilva Tyrant.
Well, the governor has eased some of the restrictions that she's had in place. Now she's allowing 10 people to get together at a social gathering. She's also increased the capacity at some of the establishments and businesses on island. Some of them will be allowed to have 50% capacity. Bars will still be closed, as will the schools. The change is in response to the island now seeing a low CAR score for a 2-week period. The executive order goes into effect at 8 this morning. Guam did see its 119th COVID-related fatality this week. A 44-year-old man is said to have had underlying health conditions and died at home. Meanwhile, there are 31 new cases of COVID-19. That's after public health tested 1,165 people for COVID-19. The Guam Fire Department also confirms a firefighter assigned to the Inarahan Fire Station tested positive, as did 2 employees at the Guam International Airport. And those are your headlines right here on The Point.
Sorry, just took a swig of whatever I was looking at. I sent, or Crystal sent me yesterday, the additional guidance based on Executive Order 2020-43. There are 4 main points to look for. One of them is social gatherings. Limit has increased to 10 individuals. Are you happy now? Are we done? No. Places of worship. Religious ceremonies occurring indoors may now operate at 50% of the facility's occupancy load, whatever that happened to be, and to whatever degree the places of worship actually want to pay any attention to this, they now have another scale that they can look at. Otherwise, if it was me, I'd just open the doors. As many people want to come in for my style of worship. You're more. Wait a second. I might have solved our bar problem. I might have just solved our bar problem. Right? Remember that old song by the Culture Club, Church of the Poison Mind?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so here's the thing. We all ought to be able, yes. We'll create our own church, our own religion. Jerry's looking at me going, blasphemer, you blasphemer. But I just put it together in your head. What if they're not bars anymore? We're turning this into our place of worship. And as members of the Church of the Poison Mind here, I'd be the Pope of that church. And Tom Pinehoff, there'll be cardinals.
Except instead of Pope, we call you Poop.
Exactly. Well, you know, it's a religion. We can make it up any way we want to, and if we just get ourselves incorporated as some kind of religion with a kind of a dogma that we can follow.
So what is the sacrament? Beer?
The sacrament is beer.
Okay. I'm in. Baptize me.
What? The dogma? Oh, it's what's the old line? Ask gas or grass, nobody rides for free. I think we'll make that a commandment. 7:38 in the morning. Ray Gibson Show continues on the other side of these.
Becoming a homeowner can be a scary process, but it doesn't have to be, especially if you have the right guidance. Break through your fears and go to a real estate professional that will ensure a higher chance of success. That person is Lolita Countett of RE/MAX Diamond Realty. Lolita also specializes in commercial leasing, land sales, local residential sales leasing, and military and corporate relocation. Don't be afraid. Call Lolita Countett from RE/MAX Diamond Realty at 688-6743. That's 688-6743.
How about which one you want me to do? 20 away from Jerry was asking a question on the way out, and I don't know. Maybe Monica can look it up while I'm ad-libbing the commercial.
That barbecue chicken.
Well, the 10 people, is that all from the same household, or would they be different households? It's the same, right? It's got to be the same. 5 people from virtually anywhere, I suppose, would be the thing. I don't know. It's dumb rules anyway. 20 away from 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, swing by Subway. And I'll tell you why, because they got your favorite sandwiches there. And if you're going, I've tried everything, Ray, I'd like to try something new over at Subway. What can you recommend for me? Well, this just in, barbecue chicken sandwich. You got the chicken meat, and then it has been infused with the incredible flavors of a nice little spicy kind of barbecue. Like you do it yourself. You get the barbecue thing at the house. You slather it all over the thing. But you can have it in between a couple of slices of bread there. The fantastic Subway bread, and all your favorite veggies. So try that today at Subway.
Top End Pest Control is who you call for all your pest control needs. Got a problem with roaches, ants, spiders, rodents, fleas, ticks, termites? No problem. They do it all. Top End Pest Control is a service-disabled, veteran-owned small business and HubZone certified. Serving Guam since 2012. Call them today for a quote, 487-5657, or email topendpest@gmail.com. Check them out on Facebook at Top End Pest Control and give them a like. Top End Pest Control for all your pest control needs.
I'm looking at, I just did a Google beer drinking church, and something's already popped up. South Africa's Gabola Church connects with God by drinking. And then there's another one, church beer drinking worship service, booze, blessings, and a Bible, South African church. So there is precedent for something like this to occur. Or you just say, I'm with the South Africa's Gabola Church, and I'm a member of the clergy, and we'll bring everybody in there together, and we'll have some form of a religious service that could go for hours. Could go for hours. And depending on how much we drink there, we'll already be speaking in tongues. Or as my friend Maka refers to it, speaking in cursive. It's 7:41 in the morning, and what was I supposed to do? Something else? Oh, traffic. It'd give you an idea of what's happening on the roadways. You generally put up a map and see where it's at right now. Last time I looked at it, there wasn't a whole lot going on. Has that changed? No. Believe it or not, there is still not a whole lot that is going on. It looks like there might be something happening at 1 and 3, a little bit busy trying to get out of that part of Datado onto Marine Corps Drive. A little bit of intersection of Harmon Loop Road, and we've got the usual stuff floating around on Marine Corps Drive. Looks like southbound traffic about where the ITC building is leading up to it. Could be running a little bit busy this morning. Downtown Hagåtña area from about Auto Spot to the intersection. That also looks like it's running a little bit slow. Nothing major over at Navy Hospital and down at Big Navy. Not a whole lot that's going to slow you down there as well. Nothing creepy, at least. If you see something, say something. 988-5874. Love to see what your memes are looking like here this morning. It's 7:42 on the point.
Everyone has a busy schedule these days, and sometimes we forget to schedule our routine dental checkup and cleaning. Don't neglect your dental health. Schedule one today with Dr. Robert Yang and his Smile team, conveniently located at the East West Business Center on Marine Drive, Upper Tumon. Call us today at 647-8702 or 3. Again, that's 647-8702 or 647-8703. We make smiles happen.
7:42. Portions of the program also brought to you by KFC. What's for breakfast at KFC? What do you want? What? No, think about it. Do you want something that's like a wrap? They've got a sausage wrap that's excellent. I've had the sausage wrap. In fact, when I had the sausage wrap, I had the sausage wrap and the chicken wrap at the same time. You get a couple of sauces on that. It's going to be absolutely perfect. Great way to start your day. You need something a little bit more substantial. They've got platters that you can get with what do they call it? Chicken with white gravy, the country fried chicken. Man, you got to try some of that. Maybe arroz caldo. They call that the Colonel's Chicken Congee. Try it for breakfast today at KFC. What's this? What's this story from page one? $800 per person aid set for a vote. Government workers excluded. Oh, frowny face. Frowny face. And they asked Regine, what about this exclusion? What do you say to these people in the government of Guam that would be missing out on $800, $1,600 a head? From somewhere we don't know where the money comes, so what? Who cares? It's all in the movement to make it look like something. She says, I understand the criticism that this isn't fair, Lee said regarding the exclusion of current government workers, but it has also not been fair. Wait, this is where we need the piano music. Piano music. It has also not been fair that while our brothers and sisters in the private sector have been laid off, furloughed, and left to navigate a never-before-done unemployment program, we in the government of Guam and in the federal civil service have been sitting pretty, she added. We've been getting, many of us, at least 100% of our pay this entire year. I think we, who are in public service, should really check our privilege and sit this one out. You know, normally, when somebody says, check your privilege, I start to get ticked. Go, whoa, easy now on the social justice there, chica. I got it. But in this case, I do kind of have to agree with this. It is a point that has been made multiple. In fact, I was one of the first guys that made it. And 37,000 people unemployed or underemployed in this town, waiting for good news to come out of the Department of Labor and Dave Del Sola. And while all of that is taking place, you got everybody in the government of Guam that some obviously working very hard and trying to do right by way for the people, and then others that are, quote, teleworking. Some would add. So watch and see how that plays. I don't know. When we start talking about the funding on this, it just I'm going, is there any money in that purse? Program capped at $30 million and will use federal appropriations when applicable and available before the general fund monies are used. Well, I don't know where we're going to get general fund money to the tune of $30 million, and I don't know if the federal appropriations are going to last as long. And my understanding is they're going to spend that down to the last dollar. So,
well, there's got to be a fiscal note attached to that bill, so I'm curious to see what it says.
Okay, I'll look for it, or you can look for it. I'll tell you what, I'm going to talk to Dave Del Sola, and you can be the research branch of the Ray Gibson Show. No better than Gibson. I'll do it. Joe, write it down. 746. We'll see if we can find that fiscal note. Very close, very dear personal friend. Dave Del Sol is on the line. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Ray. Good morning, Mana.
Hi, Dave. He says it's so nice when he says, good morning, Mana.
Yeah. No, he does. And it's only because you were here. If you were not here, if we were doing this call at like 9:30 or 8:35 or something like that. What do you want, Ray?
That's why we love Dave.
What is it now? What are you bothering me for? No, it's Tuesday, and we always call Dave Del Sol on Tuesdays because there's usually news coming out of the Department of Labor on Tuesdays. This came out a little bit later in the afternoon yesterday, but it looks like there's going to be hard press in the next couple of days to bundle up as much money as possible between here and Christmas Eve.
That's right. And in that press release, we usually batch on Tuesdays, which is today, but the LWA, which was such a huge undertaking to get that $25 million out last week, pushed us all the way to Thursday, and we got a little behind on trying to clean out as much PUA in time for the holidays that I worked it out with the programmers to batch this coming Thursday. So we're adding another 2 days, but we're moving the dial from October 1st to December 9th. so that we are going to be current.
That's a couple of months worth of payments for people.
2.5 months of payments. So we're going to push that dial to the max to get this out. So we're there's a lot of moving parts before Thursday happens. The programmers have a mass denial of fraud that they're going to work on as we concentrate on the local claims and get that pushed out all the way to the 9th. And we hope to meet on Wednesday night, and batch everything out in time. That money will come out, if everything goes right, before Christmas.
Okay.
You'll see that money in the bank.
And we're talking about significant money. If by my reckoning, maybe the average check is going to look like about $3,500.
Well, the money.
I'm thinking about 10 weeks at $350 each.
That's if for those initial claimants, but if you notice, we've been paying PUA practically every week the last couple, a month and a half.
Yeah.
And that's, and that's been like 9-10 million every time we batched. So we've paid everybody that's filed a claim before October 1st is current. Only the ones that are just filing in October and November, those initial claimants are the ones that are going to be getting paid. So, and we've seen a significant decline in initial claims because most of the people that have been affected by their work have been affected before October. And so, this will be a huge jump in the timeline, but I don't think it's going to be a huge, huge jump in the dollar amount. But it'll just get everybody up to date. Everybody that's filed all their weeklies, whether they have 2 or 3 weeks, will be caught up. So I do want to tell everybody, if you aren't caught up with your weekly filing, get caught up now, because when we batch Wednesday night is when they batch it in the States. You want to get that, most current weekly amount that you can. So get that in there. And the second part of my announcement is that since we're going to be current, we're going to shift all my resources into helping those people with problem claimants. And if you are one of the few that still have not gotten their initial payment,
it's because you put stateside bank. You put a stateside bank account, and that slowed everything down.
At PUA.hotline at dol.guam.gov.
I got that. I'll put that up on the Facebook. I'll put that up on the Facebook. PUA.hotline at dol.guam.gov, and use the words urgent initial claim payment request, and that will be flagged, and somebody will pay some kind of attention, put some fire on it.
And please, only those people who have not gotten any money yet. I'm asking for those who are maybe just waiting to get their 3 or 4 weeks, or trying to get that, not the email. Those are the people who have filed, have not received a single dollar yet. We want to try to get those people something during the holidays. So everybody else, just use the 311. We're circling all the resources, not only to all claimants with problems. So we're going to hit that hard for during this holiday season and try to clean house as much as possible.
Late word out of Washington, D.C. this morning. It looks like they're going to be trying to move 2 relief programs out, separating the more sticky issues between the states and the people that could use the relief right now, and trying to bifurcate that. And maybe we'll have 2 measures that move through, and with a focus on getting money into the hands of people as quickly as possible. 7:52 in the morning. One of the other issues here is at some point, without any other action in Washington, D.C., this program could change completely. It might be different numbers, different spend that you'll see once a week, if at all. So be on the lookout for that. But the other thing is, there are people right now that are feeling the pinch. Page 2 in today's news, piggybacking on your story from the Department of Labor, is a friend of mine, Joanna Quinto, says there's not many employment opportunities in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic. Even before Wuhan. She was working three jobs to try to make ends meet, and none of her expenses have changed. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like she's going to be able to get one job, never mind three, to help make ends meet. What's the next step? Notwithstanding any additional federal relief, what are some of the other options going to be for people looking for employment through the Department of Labor?
Well, there's not a lot of employment activities during this peak one. So, essentially, we need to recover more. We need to get out of this. We're all running in the right directions with the vaccine and everything. I'm waiting for my dislocated worker grant. I filed for $10+ million, and we'll use that money to retrain people and upskill them into the demand occupations that are hiring right now. So those who want to go into nursing or billing and coding, construction, the trades, shipyard, truck driving, there's a myriad of technology that are we will pay for you to get retrained and upskill you.
Yeah, you got to get these hard skills. In virtually every classified ad I've been looking at in the last several weeks now, it's the same job openings: laborers, carpenters, masons, plumbers, pipe fighters, pipe fitters, surveyors, electrical, and that kind of thing. We're looking for people with hard skills and hard experience on the job. Not so much by way of soft skills, although there is one job that is out there. Apparently, the Academy of Our Lady of Guam is looking for an administrative assistant. So you don't have to work out. It's the one job that they're advertising for that doesn't involve outside work or heavy equipment and electricity and plumbing. So there might be one or two of those jobs that are out there, but not too many. So if you start hearing about opportunities coming from GCC, the Department of Labor, other labor outfits that are out there, take them up on the offer. Here's what's going to happen: is that NDAA is going to get signed off. Something is going to happen with that, and that's going to make it so that H-2 workers can be brought in for civilian side labor, which means that there's going to be more competition for those jobs from the Philippines and other sources of labor.
And those type of training you can't do online. You can't hammer or saw or teach carpentry online. Those are the kind of hands-on experience and training that you need to get, or driving heavy equipment. So once we start recovering and we are able to start doing classroom training, then we're going to hit that heavy. And I hope that the PUA will be finished so that we can shift our resources over towards that and start to rebuild and re-educate our employment workforce, and we'll see what the new horizon will bring as we get out of this whole pandemic.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm not holding my breath. My breath. You and I've got different perspectives. Well, I don't know. Maybe the different perspectives on how it's being handled in other offices. I'm crazy about what you guys are doing over at the Department of Labor, but I think yesterday there was a great opportunity to restore some businesses back to some semblance of normalcy? Normality. Some business. I mean, there was a great opportunity to get businesses working back inside the restaurants and reopening the bars so those people can go to work. But we passed out on that, so there's an entire wholesale delivery gig economy. All of these people that are going to have to be facing, another month, maybe 2 months before something starts to happen. We're going to have to worry about getting these people employed at some point as well. 7:56. Always fun talking with you, Dave.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mana.
Anything else you need, just give me a call, give me a ring back here at the radio station, and to be happy to help out there. What's that? Mike Grace Bloss saying, "We the people." CJ Bam saying, "Good morning. Hope everybody is staying healthy and safe." Bill Cruz going, "Hoik," because if you don't say hoik, you're going to get shot. Jason Dinkle saying, "Good morning, Guam. At least I won't have to kick out my other 5 kids for Christmas like I did for Thanksgiving." Jason, those are just the rules, man. It's just, just follow. It's for out of an abundance of caution. It's for the people's safety that we restrict the number of people that can hang out. John Paul St. Nicholas and Leslie St. Nicholas online. Gus Castro says, "COVID-19 is not as bad as the flu, right? LOL, but it's killed more people faster than the flu." Ron Lambertson says, "Open up our damn restaurants." Yes, okay, but they are open for outdoor dining. And all the guys that got outdoor dining, they went and bought the tables that fit 5 people. And now Lou says you can have up to 10. Oh, crap. All right. Go shopping. Got to go buy more tables. Got to buy bigger tables. Got to buy more chairs to fit the new number of people that we've got out here. Maybe you've got some inventory inside. You get some of these places that got really nice chairs. Well, just move them outside. I'm not taking that chair. That's a $100 chair. That's not going outside. You sit in a folding chair for all we know. There's that. Who else is playing around? Gus is all over the place. Oh, we were talking about cars. He's apparently got a Tercilla.
Oh, he does.
Very, very nice, yeah. And Tony Uggan says, no woman can resist the Subaru.
Oh.
Nice. Frank Sutcliffe is there. Flora McIntosh, when little Lulu needs payroll money, what bank is she going to be going to for a loan? Guam Savings. Hawaii should probably start exporting Pakalolo. Well, there's that conversation again. Do we need to have that? Sharon Tobin, if you're trying to impress me with your vehicle, it better be a food truck.
Yeah.
God bless you. God bless you. Jerome says, thank you again, Jerry Roberts. Hold the helm and stay the course. Cultivate the right people and motivate. That's his job. But really, don't you ever get tired of there's somebody that's always positive all the time and probably talks too much about it? Used to have a girl who used to work with her. Pretty as the day is long. But you could just say, oh, I saw a cat yesterday. And that was the beginning of a half-hour conversation with her. And she just, oh, I love cats. I used to have a cat. Let me tell you about the cat that I owned when I was a little girl. I was 6. I don't know. I was living in the States or something. Blah, blah, blah. And your eyes start to roll right over. And there's certain limit to how much you can handle that. Tony Uggan, something about sacrificing a virgin. You know, if it comes down to that, I'm willing to sacrifice myself. 888-8255-888-TALK. Bunch of other comments. We'll see what we can get to here before the program is all done. 8 o'clock in the morning. Fox News Live's coming up next. Montecillo Tyron with all the big local stories on the other side of that. Hey, check your privilege, bro. We're not all in this together, man. Stand by now for Fox News here on 93.3 KUSG. This is The Point.
A day of hope and grief. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The first COVID vaccinations in the U.S. being administered on the same day COVID deaths in the U.S. topped 300,000.
I think it's important for us to stand behind the science and the research that's been done.
Dr. Yves DeRosso was the second person to receive the shot in the U.S. after a critical care nurse in New York City. Fox's Mike Tobin in Michigan on the mass distribution.
Within hours of the first shipment leaving here, United Parcel Service landed its first plane with 38,000 doses of vaccine at its world distribution facility in Louisville, Kentucky, where the doses are sorted. Planes and trucks take it from there. FedEx handles the western states. The vaccine is going to 636 distribution points with access to pharmacies and medical centers. Kits have already been sent out with syringes and saline to administer the shot.
The goal is to have 100 million Americans vaccinated by the end of March. Healthcare workers and long-term care residents first. On Capitol Hill, a continued search for a COVID relief bill. A bipartisan group of lawmakers now suggesting 2 bills instead, which would separate the sticking points into their own proposal. This as Congress also works to beat the deadline to avoid a government shutdown later this week. The Electoral College votes today, which doesn't usually get much attention.
I am pleased to announce that Joseph R. Biden has received 16 votes for President of the United States.
Former gubernatorial hopeful Stacey Abrams announcing Georgia's vote, a scene repeated in all 50 states plus D.C.
Biden won the popular vote, but given the president's challenges to the result, all eyes are on 18 states that do not require electors to reflect that result. After this process, a joint session of the new Congress will make it official January 6th.
Fox's Gernal Scott. The Wisconsin Supreme Court rejecting another election fraud lawsuit earlier today. America is listening to Fox News.
Chili's has a dinner deal you can't miss. Enjoy a tasty appetizer, 2 bottomless Coca-Cola beverages, and 2 mouth-watering entrees, all for just $35. Treat yourself to entree options like our fall-off-the-bone baby back ribs, personal fajita with chicken, or the ultimate bacon burger. Chili's 2 for $35. Available daily from 3 p.m. to closing for patio dining or takeout. Chili's is located on the 2nd floor of the Tucumán Sands Plaza. Call 648-7377 to place your takeout order today. With Chili's, you can still savor the moment at home.
We all need to fight COVID-19, and we need all the weapons we can get to beat it.
Your smartphone can be one of the most powerful tools to battle this pandemic. The Guam COVID Alert Exposure Notification app can let you know if you've been exposed to someone who has the virus. Add your phone to the COVID fight by going to guamcovidalert.guam.gov or download it from the App Store or Google Play now. Help Guam stop COVID-19.
Baseball's Cleveland Indians won't be the Indians anymore.
The Cleveland Indians confirming in a statement Monday they've begun the process of changing their name to a non-Native American-related moniker. This after what the club cites as months of internal discussions as well as talks with the Native American community. However, team owner Paul Dolan told the Associated Press the name change won't happen for 2021, saying, "We are going to work at as quick a pace as we can while doing it right. But we're not going to do something just for the sake of doing it. We're going to take the time we need to do it right," alluding to the Washington football team's temporary name change decided on back in July. Their head coach, Ron Rivera, applauded the Indians' announcement.
Kudos to the Cleveland organization for doing what they're doing.
Matt Napolitano, Fox News.
Early voting now underway in Georgia's two runoffs, which will decide control of the U.S. Senate. Democratic challengers Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff hoping a surge in absentee ballot requests will help them win.
However, Senators Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue are promising strong oversight to reassure a skeptical Republican base about the integrity of Georgia's elections.
Fox's Jonathan Seri in Atlanta. There's an effort underway in court to segregate the absentee ballots of voters who registered after the November elections. The NRA sets out to make a young boy's Christmas extra special after a widely shared moment of disappointment.
The National Rifle Association tweeting a video of a St. Nick delivering Nerf guns to a 4-year-old Illinois boy recently brought to tears in a viral video when a mall Santa denied his request for the toy. Michael DiCarlo's parents, Sabella and Michael Sr., thanking the organization.
Santa's job is to make kids believe in the magic of Christmas, not lecture us on politics.
The Harlem Irving Plaza Shopping Center in Norridge apologizing, also making good on the boy's request. Reps say the St. Nick in question has resigned. The child now a lifetime member of the NRA. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
On Wall Street, a sell-off for the Dow, but a rally for the NASDAQ. Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Hafa Day. I'm Chelsea Nicholas, and I'm the co-chair for this year's G is for Giving, as well as a proud alumna of the University of Guam. G is for Giving is an annual campaign that kicks off on the Tuesday following Thanksgiving and runs through the end of the year. Known as Giving Tuesday, it is an international day of giving, and this year's theme is Weaving Community. On Guam, we know a little something about weaving community, as we're all intertwined and interconnected in the spirit of Inafa Malik. When one of us thrives, the island thrives. This is why I support G is for Giving's mission to support scholarships, programs, and research. As an alumna, I know how difficult it is to balance going to school and worrying about how you're going to pay for school. In these uncertain times, students are even more at risk because of economic hardship beyond their control. G is for Giving aims to bridge that gap and take away at least some of the burden. For more information on how you can give, visit give.uog.edu or call the UOG Endowment Foundation at 735-2957. Have a happy and safe holiday.
Oh, KFC, oh, KFC, original and crispy. KFC's Colonel Sanders here. KFC wants to make your busy holiday season a little easier with KFC's complete holiday feast. That's 12 pieces of KFC's original chicken, 3 large homestyle sides, 4 biscuits, and a free chocolate chip cake. Or try the 6-piece meal with our new sweet potato fries. Happy holidays from KFC Guam. It's finger licking good.
Half a day, it's 8:06. I'm Anna Silva Tyron with a look at your local news on the point. 31 new cases of COVID-19 out of 1,100 tests performed by Public Health. 1 case identified through contact tracing, while 2 cases reported recent travel, and they were identified in quarantine. As of yesterday, there have now been 7,137 officially reported cases of COVID-19. There are 526 people in active isolation. The island also recorded another COVID-related fatality. There have now been 119. This latest one, a 44-year-old man who died this week. He was said to have had underlying health conditions and died at home. A Guam firefighter assigned to Inarahan Fire Station tested positive. The fireman remains in isolation at home. Emergency operations continue. According to the Joint Information Center, they say adjustments have been made in scheduling for the firefighters assigned to that fire department. There was also 2 employees from the Guam International Airport that tested positive, both agencies working with public health on the contact tracing. But the governor yesterday, in an executive order, has made a few modifications to her restrictions that she's had in place in response to the pandemic, allowing now people to have 10 people at their social gatherings. And she's also increased capacity at some churches and stores to 50%. It was a slight change to the pandemic restrictions, all in response to the island seeing a low CAR score for a consecutive 2-week period. This latest CAR score is at 1.3, and while people have been looking forward to a bit more by way of easing of the restrictions, the governor says that she's not risking the community's success by celebrating too early. The executive order goes into effect at 8 this morning. The order does allow for 10 people to dine together at local restaurants, but still requires outdoor dining. Bars will still be closed, and there was no mention on when schools would be reopened. Public Health, meanwhile, has issued their guidance to advise the public of the restrictions and allowances for businesses and government operations in accordance with the executive order. The guidance related to social gatherings, exercising in groups, and the use of public parks, of course, those limiting group activities to 10. You can find this on Public Health's webpage, also the Guam Homeland Security's Facebook or webpage. The government is looking at the end of the week for the first of the shipments of vaccines to arrive. Public Health placed its first order for the Pfizer vaccine on December 4th for 3,900 doses. It's been given authorization to place a second order within the next 24 to 48 hours. That for another 3,900 doses. The number is subject to change, though. Additionally, Public Health has placed its first order for the Moderna vaccine, and that's for 3,800 doses. The Moderna vaccine, though, still needs to undergo the same review that Pfizer vaccine had to go through before the distribution can take place. We'll have more news right after this.
It's time to mix things up at Subway. Come in and get Subway's new barbecue chicken sandwich. Tender chicken strips topped with generous portions of sweet barbecue sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Add on crisp lettuce, onions, and tangy pickles on your favorite freshly baked bread. Perfect to satisfy just about anyone's flavor craving. It's Subway's new barbecue chicken sandwich, available for limited time only, so try it today. At Subway, make it what you want.
The Guam Department of Labor could have PUA claims filed through December 9th, paid out before Christmas, and they're looking to batch all of the remaining claims together. This week, they will be paying out $32 million in both PUAs and LWAs. Well, senators are pushing forward a bill that would give a single payment of up to $800 for eligible individuals and up to $1,600 for joint filers. According to the Guam Daily Post, the bill excludes individuals employed by the government of Guam, though. Eligibility is also limited to individuals making less than $40,000 in adjusted income per year or less than $80,000 in the case of joint filers. The program is capped at $30 million and will use federal appropriations when applicable and available before the general fund money is used. Well, the name of the man who has been pulled from the Agana waters by the fire department's rescue units has not been released, but investigators are saying that they may have identified the next of kin. The man's body was identified or was pulled from the waters over the weekend. The man is believed to be a fisherman and was discovered by spear fishermen near the Agana Marina. And those are your top stories here on The Point. Here's Ray with your weather.
I got partly cloudy in today's forecast. Isolated showers this morning, then partly sunny with scattered showers in the afternoon. Easterly winds 15 to 20 miles an hour. Daytime highs today 86 degrees. Now into tonight, partly cloudy with isolated showers. Easterly winds blowing still about 20 miles an hour, and cool 77 degrees. Have you been outside at night in a breeze?
Sweater weather.
Where is my hoodie? Where's my hoodie? I'm telling you, it's cold here on Guam. Partly cloudy tomorrow with isolated showers. Winds out of the east to 15 to 20 miles an hour. Daytime highs 87. Today, the heat index is going to be about 90. Look forward to that. Sunrise this morning at 6:35. Sunset tonight. Hashtag tell the others. 5:56. That's 5:56. Which means that if you're going to be sunset hunting, you should be in your place. I'd say about 3 in the afternoon. So get 3, 4 to 5, 5 to 5:56. Yeah, it's about the appropriate time.
Case of beer.
For the girls, maybe. For boys, it's a whole lot more. Anyway, 8:12 in the morning. Ponder that. 5:56. Hashtag tell the others tonight, would you? It's stand by now. We got more of the Ray Gibson Show on the way. Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer staycation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,900 by calling Family Finance. Again, 475-4545, Upper Tumon at 647-5626, or in Dededo at 633-4473. Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959.
The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts of Guam Training.
Hi, I'm Jerry Roberts, and every day on The Ray Gibson Show, I get to comment on the incredibly diverse, fun, challenging, sometimes frustrating, often exciting, but always interesting world of work. I hope you'll be there with us.
You can find daily transcripts of The Extra Point at guamtraining.com. Tune in every weekday morning at 7:20 for The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts. Brought to you by Guahan Insurance Services and First Hawaiian Bank on 93.3 The Point.
Rock on, Guahan. Let me see, 8:13 in the morning, portions of the program brought to you by FHP. That's Our Island, Your Clinic. Don't give up your appointments. If you've made a point, go. They've got it clean, it's sanitary, or they've got all kinds of people take your temperature and make sure that you and them are safe over at FHP. Also being brought to you by APL, American President Line's global presence with a local home.
News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-8255.
It's 814. $800 a person. Set for vote, except government workers. This is government federal people, right? There's a whole list of people that are excluded, and anybody that made more than $40,000 a year after it's all done.
Right.
Yeah. That's discriminatory.
I wonder what the conversation is like at her husband's place of work.
What's
like,
that?
Dude, check your wife, man.
Radine's husband from the fire department. What do you mean we're not included in that?
Come on, man.
Frontliners, bro. Come on, man.
Talk to your
Check
wife.
your privilege. Could an argument be made that this would be discriminatory?
I would say yes.
For people in the government of Guam, certainly, and for people in the federal and individuals that made over $40,000 adjusted income. I mean, it should be. Look, if you were in the private sector, you got hurt this year, and you can say that for just about anybody. But wait a second, a bunch of people that have already gotten the PUAs have been able to keep the lights on and keep things going, right? Yeah. So, I mean, maybe they ought to exclude those guys as well. And just make it, if you didn't get jack from anybody this year because, you weren't eligible for this program or that program, that should be the one that gets the $800. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
right?
You're right.
Everybody, the $1,200 EIPs that came out, I didn't get that whole thing. I didn't get the whole thing. I didn't get I'm not eligible for any of the PUAs. So all of the means tested stuff. Everybody else got the PUAs. Guam employees got to keep going to work.
It's a good question that you raised, though.
Yeah.
I mean, should we ask Judge Klitsky and ask him what his opinion is? Is there discrimination in this?
Could there be? It might
proposal?
be. Just Kabuki. Let's see if we can find him on this one. I'm trying to figure out where he is on the issue. It might have come up in the program yesterday. It's still at the end of the day the question.
You're discriminating one class against another, and the same thing was brought up with the Dave Davis lawsuit. He was discriminated against. Why is this any different?
Discrimination comes in many forms, Mana. It absolutely does. So I don't know. I understand the criticism that this isn't fair, and there's been a whole lot of unfairness. So they're trying to make it fair for everybody. So would somebody that got the $600 and $350 a week, $345 a week, the PUAs, when that was the going rate, would they be eligible for an additional $800 now from the government of Guam? Seeing as how they, in some cases, they were making more money than what they would have been making at their regular jobs. At 40 hours a week. So those guys were taken care of by the federal government. Government of Guam employees, likewise, didn't lose any time, didn't lose any money for the most part, unless you screwed up and got fired, in which case they're going to bring you back at triple whatever it is that you're making now down the road. But the point is, there were a lot of people for whom their boats were rocked, but were able to find comfort and solace in payroll and monies that was coming in from the federal government one way or the other. So who's that $800 going to be going to? I would submit that it should go to the people who means tested their way out of any kind of